Chapter 804. Lu Kuan's hand holding the jade slip slightly trembled, and his face revealed a contemplative look. I didn't expect that the devil race is also like me, where the energy circulates in the body, but their system is slightly different from mine. After entering the diamond secret art, the body cultivator first enters the refining muscles stage, where the magical power is in the muscles. The flesh and blood described by Han Yintian should be the same as the refining muscle stage. However, from the second to fourth level, the energy of the devil race is in the internal organs, which is somewhat different from us. It should be the difference between the devil race and the devil power. But after the fifth level, the energy of the devil race is the same as mine, inside the bones. Yuan school doesn't seem to pay attention to the discovery of the energy of the body. If it develops in this direction, with the heritage of Yuan school, there should be a body cultivator appearing in the Shoshin world, but why? Lu Kuan was puzzled and continued to stare at the jade slip in his hand. 256 years old. Damn, what the hell are the elders busy with? They actually gave all the disciples of the refining body technique to me, as if they don't care about the refining body technique. Right, I am now an elder of a Yuan school. I have the right to know some secrets of the school. What? The Taishan elder of a Yuan school is actually inexplicable restriction, power shrouded. So that's how it is. After the war of the devil race, the world has changed. Inexplicable restriction, power shrouded. I must find a way to enter the Yuanying stage. Lu Kuan saw this, and his complexion became strange. There was a large paragraph of text that was very vague, and with the power of his spiritual sense, he simply couldn't see it clearly, as if there was an irresistible force covering the text. Lu Kuan murmured, "The Yuan school is a school from 80,000 years ago, and has long disappeared in the river of history. Is this paragraph the reason for the disappearance of Yuan school?" He continued to read, and the following text was very normal. 266 years old. I didn't expect the Han clan to have perfected the psychedelic mother-child technique. Back then, they looked down on my brother, who cultivated the psychedelic mother-child technique. After breaking off the engagement, they actually turned around to study this technique. Damn Han clan, they want to compete for the resources of the refining body technique, saying that the phantom mother-child technique is more suitable for the breakthrough of the devil power. Bullshit. This power technique was created by the great elder for the sake of refining body. 268 years old. Damn. I practiced the phantom mother-child technique. There is no way to refine the 6th level devil sub-body. Do I have to ask Han clan's help? That bastard from the Han clan actually wants the complete devil zombie body refining art and the corpse of a devil general from me. He wants to use the phantom devil child technique to absorb the water of the true devil with the help of the devil zombie child body to accelerate his cultivation. I have to enter the nascent soul realm as soon as possible. I'll accept this deal. Once you cultivate the nether demonic energy, you'll know the pain. I'm afraid you'll have no choice but to join my devil corpse body refining lineage. I can't let Big Brother's Cloudflow body refinement lineage end here. I can't let those disciples continue to cultivate. However, devouring sub-bodies is the fastest way to cultivate. Since Big Brother devoured the sub-body of the devil ape, other demonic beasts with top bloodlines can also, 270 years old, the phantom mother-child technique has been perfected. After devouring the 6th level devil zombie, I have smoothly entered the middle core formation stage, and my strength has increased to 300,000 gene. Apart from the fact that my bones are weaker than demons of the same level, my strength can even suppress ordinary 7th level devil soldiers. The devil energy of the 6th level devil zombie is still in the bones. Not bad. My bones are also supported by the chi and blood nether devil energy, so they can easily resist magic treasures. I have already modified the phantom mother-child devil sub-body, changing the nether devil energy into chi and blood nether devil energy. Some disciples have already entered the foundation establishment stage. My phantom mother-child devil sub-body's fighting strength will definitely surpass all other sub-bodies in the future. 340 years old. I have finally reached the peak of the core formation stage. How terrifying. My strength has reached 400,000 gene. Haha. No one below the nascent soul stage can be my opponent. What? The disciples of the Phantom Mother-Child Devil subbody failed to break through to the core formation stage and became half-human, half-beast monsters. These guys can't even compete with the subbody's will. They deserve to fail. The half-human, half-beast monsters can't be killed. They have to be gathered together. After all, they still have the chi and blood, nether devil cores in their bodies. Brother, the Phantom Mother-Child Devil subbody is the best way to combine the Phantom Mother-Child Devil subbody. 342 years old, Han Ting has entered the nascent soul stage, using the Phantom Mother-Child Devil subbody to absorb the water of the true Devil subbody. She has also become an elder of the Yuan school. Han Ting wants a large number of devil corpses? No, I won't give them to her. I will go and reason with her. Damn. The power of a nascent soul stage is so terrifying, suppressing my chi and blood nether devil energy. Without the support of chi and blood nether devil energy, my bones are too weak. I am not her opponent. Strange, her devil energy is not nether devil energy. I can't give the devil corpses to others. I can only give them to the Phantom Mother-Child Devil subbody. Damn it, I must enter the nascent soul stage. 345 years old. How can this be? Chi and blood nether devil energy did not show the power of the nascent soul stage. I have failed to break through to the nascent soul stage. Am I going to die? Hey, I consciously recorded it in a letter indicating that I'm not dead, but my body is gone. What is this, a pool of purple-black liquid? Isn't this chi and blood nether devil energy? Where's my body? Why is there only liquid chi and blood nether devil energy left? Where is the chi and blood nether devil core? That's right, I still have subbody. I just refined the subbody of an 8th level devil general. 350 years old. I failed to break through. Now I am living in the devil zombie subbody through my chi and blood nether devil energy. The chi and blood nether devil energy is a bit terrifying. I failed to break through to the nascent soul stage, and it actually swallowed my main body clean. Luckily, I cultivate the Phantom Mother-Child art, and my divine soul didn't dissipate. Now I can be considered to have survived in another way. The chi and blood nether devil energy also contains the flesh and blood of my main body. I have to find a way to fuse it into the devil zombie body. The subbody is my own will. It won't be like that fellow who failed to break through to the cloudy body tempering art and lost his consciousness. 376 years old. I can finally control this devil zombie body as I wish. The chi and blood nether devil energy has also condensed into a core within the subbody. My main body can be considered to have fused with this devil zombie body in another way. But does this mean I have broken through or not? This 8th level devil general's body has scales covering it, greatly increasing its defensive power. My strength should have increased by quite a bit. But the essence of my devil energy hasn't changed. It's the same as before. My strength is still 400,000 genes, but I can't seem to bring out the greatest strength of this devil zombie body. Is it because I don't have the power of a nascent soul? 377 years old. Facing the power of a nascent soul, I am still unable to contend with it. My divine soul hasn't transformed. It's clear I haven't reached the nascent soul realm. I was too anxious to break through. The elders once said that demon kings and some high-level demon generals had peak supernatural bodily abilities. Just what is this supernatural ability? Luckily, the elders left behind records. This supernatural bodily ability seems to be a special kind of strange strength. Only a demon that focuses on cultivating the body can possibly comprehend it at the 10th level demon general stage. This strange strength can allow a demon to form a unique bodily force field, causing their flying speed to sharply increase over a short distance. Only the thunder escape and wind escape can compare with this. At the same time, a demon's body can display the greatest brute force from every angle. Even in the face of multiple magic tools, they can still force them back. Their strength can be called terrifying. My sect should have a demon general corpse like this. I'll go look for it. The point of breaking through to the nascent soul realm must be here. My sect only has one demon general corpse that has comprehended a strange strength. It's even rarer than a demon king corpse. This 10th level demon general's aura is terrifying. The length of the bone spikes and the scales on his body are almost the same as a demon king. This fellow must be an expert of the demon race. 380 years old. Ordinary demon general corpses have demonic energy residing in their bones. But for a 10th level demon general that has comprehended a strange strength, the demonic energy resides throughout his entire body. It's in his flesh, his organs, and even his bones. My blood vitality demonic energy is simply unable to devour any part of his body. 390 years old. Very good. The liquid blood vitality demonic energy's supernatural ability is somewhat astonishing. It has successfully fused with this 10th level demon general corpse. For 10 years old, I finally understand. The demonic energy in a 10th grade fiend general's body does not change its lodging points to various parts of the body. Instead, the flesh, bones, and organs of the body have condensed into a whole. The demonic energy resides in the whole. I also understand why the blood vitality demonic energy wanted to devour my body. The instinct of the blood vitality demonic energy to make a breakthrough is to integrate my body and not just strengthen my bones, flesh, and organs. For the blood vitality demonic energy, integrating it into a single entity is to completely devour my body and dissolve it into it. But after my body disappeared, there was no material carrier. This strange strength was instead unable to be born. How did the demon race produce this strange strength? Could it be a racial characteristic of the demon race? The blood vitality demonic energy failed to break into the nascent soul stage and has already fused with my body. Moreover, my will and divine sense have also fused into it. If my deductions aren't wrong, I have already met all the conditions for 20 years old. After 10 years of being attached to this demon zombie body, the dormant blood vitality demonic energy has indeed begun to produce that strange strength. How wonderful! This strength originates from the source of my body. Then, let's call it the source strength of my body. Those demon zombie body tempering disciples can also prepare to break through. I'll have them absorb the liquid blood vitality demonic energy from breaking through the core and attach it to the 8th or 9th level demon general's child body. For 30 years old, how could this be? There's a problem with my mind again. Damn it, the blood vitality demonic energy has comprehended the source strength, which is the same as leveling up. The problem with my mind needs to be resolved by swallowing the body of a demon zombie that contains source strength. But this is a 10th level demon general. Its source strength is far stronger than mine. Damn it, my mind is only in chaos, and I nearly killed off several fellow disciples. They actually thought that I was possessed by a remnant demon soul. If it weren't for the soul absorbing jade pendant being ineffective, those old fellows would have already killed me. I've comprehended the source strength of my body. As long as I calm my mind, I'll be able to find a way to enter the nascent soul realm. For 40 years old, Humph, those old fellows arranged for me and the other demon zombie disciples to enter the mystic realm where the sect refines true demonic energy. They actually used a chamber made of broken dragon stones and laid down an array formation. They clearly don't trust me. Chapter 805. Lu Kuan slowly closed the jade slip and could not help but sigh. Hey, in the end, this Hong Yin Tian had thoroughly turned into a devil zombie. Not of our race, his mind is different. He lost his mind, plus his body is exactly the same as a devil's. So, Yuan School's vigilance towards him naturally increased. Lu Kuan thought of the 9 circles breaking devil great array in the square, and the final spell used by Su Junwen to seal the devil refining cave. Obviously, although the people of Yuan School did not kill Hong Yin Tian, but they had thoroughly sealed him here. The other devil zombies in the devil refining cave should be the disciples of devil body refining lineage. When they broke through to the nascent soul stage, their bodies were swallowed by the devil chi and blood, and they had no choice but to attach themselves to the devil zombie subbodies. The liquid in the devil zombie pits was their blood and dark devil chi. According to the information obtained in the Jade Slip, the outermost devil zombies were refined from the corpses of 8th-level devil generals. The 3 in the middle were 9th-level devil generals, and Hong Yuntian's body was naturally a 10th-level devil general who had comprehended the origin power of the body, but this 10th-level devil general's body was too powerful, and it looked similar to the body of a devil king. The other disciples did not have a 10th-level devil general as a sub-body, so they did not comprehend the origin power of the body. The difference in their strength was due to the difference in devil zombie bodies. Another thing that surprised Lu Kuan was that Hong Yuntian was more than 400 years old at the last moment of the Jade Slip. Now, tens of thousands of years had passed, but he was still alive, which was really incredible. Could it be that they had turned into another race? Right? The devil zombie pits in the devil refining cave have complex lines. It seems like they have been specially modified by someone. Also, during the battle, the outer devil zombies should have come in contact with the true devil intent. I am not mistaken about that aura. But according to the description in the Jade Slip, it seems that Hong Yuntian had never used the true devil intent during his breakthrough. Or did he not record it? Lu Kuan looked at Hong Yuntian's description in the Jade Slip, as well as the situation in the square and the devil refining cave, and felt that things were not so simple. It seemed that there was another group of people in Yuan school who had done something while Hong Yuntian was sleeping. What is the purpose of these people? Then Lu Kuan shook his head and smiled. Even if someone in Yuan school is plotting against Hong Yuntian, it has nothing to do with me. I should be concerned about the other information revealed in the Jade Slip. He muttered, although there's no cultivation technique in the letter. It describes Hong Yuntian's cultivation of the devil zombie body refining technique, the entire process of him breaking through to the pseudo-nascent soul realm, and even the mysteries of the devil race's corporeal body. This will definitely save me a lot of detours. Lu Kuan revealed a look of reminiscence. In my bloodline memories, I possessed the Black Mountain Ape and cultivated the complete cloud flow body tempering mantra all the way to the early core formation stage. Not only am I extremely familiar with this mantra, but I also understand the characteristics of Qi and demonic energy. But I didn't expect that the demonic core of Qi and blood would devour the cultivator's physical body when it breaks through to the nascent soul stage. Qi and blood magic is greedy and evil by nature, but it is precisely because of this characteristic that it instinctively seeks the correct path to breakthrough, the possibility of producing physical origin power. Lu Kuan stroked the Jade Slip, his eyes revealing a look of admiration. The two Hong brothers are really geniuses. Hong Yuntian created the demonic core of Qi and blood. Unfortunately, he first cultivated the phantom child-mother technique and consumed half of his lifespan. Although he came up with a way to devour the demonic core of Qi and blood, it was a pity that he failed at the last step. Hong Yuntian's luck was much better. Originally, he stopped at the early core formation stage, but the demonic core of Qi and blood saved him. Using the demonic core of Qi and blood to devour the demonic energy of the devil zombie's corporeal body, his cultivation rapidly improved. Because of two core formations, when this guy formed the demonic core of Qi and blood, the strength of his corporeal body reached 200,000 gene, the same as when I entered the early bone treasure stage. Moreover, he also had a level 5 devil zombie subbody clone with terrifying strength. In the end, he cultivated to the peak of core formation and his strength reached 400,000 gene. Thinking of this, Lu Kuan couldn't help but sigh. It's a pity that this devil zombie body refining technique only uses the demonic core of Qi and blood to seize the demonic energy of the devil clan's corporeal body. Even if Hong Yuntian can enter the nascent soul stage, he is an exception. This technique has no successor. The mystery of the Devil Clan's corporeal body and the formation of Hong Yuntian's corporeal body's origin power gave me a clear direction for the next big realm. Lu Kuan closed his eyes and pondered for a while. His consciousness entered the handwritten jade slip. His consciousness waved and directly concluded at the end of the jade slip. There are 3 inspirations in this handwritten jade slip. The first is that the energy to enhance the strength of the corporeal body circulates in the corporeal body, in the muscles, blood, internal organs, and bones, not in the meridians and dantian. The order of the Devil Clan's demonic energy is the muscles, blood, internal organs, and bones. I, Lu Kuan, have walked all the way, using magic power to temper the body. The order is slightly different: muscles, bones, blood, internal organs, and then bones. The difference with the Devil Clan should be due to racial differences. When Hong Yuntian discovered this point, there was already no turning back. He could only follow the traditional cultivation method, cultivating demonic energy in the dantian, forming a golden core, and then breaking the golden core to form a nascent soul. Because Hong Yuntian cultivated the illusory devil-child-mother technique, he neglected one point. The energy to enhance his corporeal body was not cultivated by himself, but rather the demonic energy that was taken from the Devil Clan. And this demonic energy was cultivated by the Devil Clan themselves. The second point is the inspiration related to the corporeal body's origin power. According to Hong Yuntian's account, the corpse of the 10th level devil general who comprehended the corporeal body's origin power was filled with demonic energy. According to the situation of the Devil Clan's corporeal body, demonic energy will only reside in specific parts of the corporeal body after the Devil Clan's death. This means that the body of the 10th level devil general who comprehended the corporeal body's origin power has already become a whole. In the words of my hometown, the different cells of the muscles, bones, internal organs, and blood have already integrated into a single cell origin. At this time, the corporeal body is a whole made up of the same cell origin. And when Hong Yuntian broke the golden core to form a nascent soul, his vitality and demonic energy instinctively wanted to integrate into his corporeal body. This greedy and evil energy wanted to do this, so it naturally devoured Hong Yuntian's corporeal body and turned it into liquid vitality. This way, it naturally became a whole. However, such an integrated body of energy can't produce the corporeal body's origin power without a physical body attached to it. Later on, Hong Yuntian accidentally integrated the vitality and demonic energy into the 10th level devil zombie's body. With the help of the devil zombie's origin power aura, it finally produced the corporeal body's origin power. Therefore, the production of the corporeal body's origin power requires the corporeal body to become a whole, and the corporeal body still exists. Lu Kuan's eyes were full of splendor as he continued to record in the jade slip. The third point is that the devil race is not a pure body refiner, not a true body cultivator. I, Lu Kuan, have been cultivating for so long. My brute strength can reach 450,000 gene. However, I can only unleash all of this strength when I'm borrowing strength. In the void, I can only unleash 400,000 gene at most. Before Hong Yuntian comprehended the corporeal body's origin power, he could only use 400,000 gene of the devil zombie's strength. This means that for a body cultivator without the corporeal body's origin power, 400,000 gene is the threshold of the high-level nascent soul stage. According to my speculation, without the corporeal body's origin power, I can't enter the next big realm. The devil race can only produce the corporeal body's origin power when they reach the Devil King stage. Only the top geniuses can comprehend it at the 10th level. It can be seen that body refiner is a secondary cultivation of the devil race. Therefore, for a pure body refiner like me, my future corporeal body will only be stronger than that of the devil race. Writing to this point, Lu Kuan's eyes burst with a strong light of confidence. In this way, he had thought of a correct path to produce the corporeal body's origin power. Lu Kuan solemnly put away the jade slip and fiercely clenched his fists. Chapter 806. Somewhere in the chaotic valley, there was an extremely vast underground cavern with a radius of several thousand feet. The walls of the cavern were enveloped by an indescribable restriction. In the center, there was a 30-meter wide silver barrier. The faint silver light illuminated the true demonic pool and a sparkling, multifaceted crystal. Apart from the silver barrier in the center, the most eye-catching thing in the cavern was a teleportation array in the corner. Inside the array was a creature that was half the height of a human and resembled a scorpion. Those shiny pincers and sharp blades, as well as the distinctly angular gray chitin shell, all indicated that this was a dangerous creature. Outside this teleportation array, there was a thick gray eggshell barrier. This scorpion creature was very quiet inside the barrier, not moving at all. After an unknown period of time, the gray eggshell barrier suddenly trembled. The gray light on it quickly faded, and the thickness of the barrier's spiritual light decreased by more than half. It was almost transparent. At this moment, the scorpion creature opened its compound eyes. Its eyes flickered with joy. The scorpion tail with 4 sharp blades was like a javelin as it fiercely stabbed towards the barrier. Gotcha! The barrier that trapped the array shattered like a mirror, turning into specks of starlight and dissipating. The scorpion's insect legs quickly slid, leaving behind a few afterimages as it shot out. At the same time, a terrifying spiritual sense surged endlessly. After waiting for so long, your progeny has finally destroyed the secondary array core of the 10 extreme abyssal netherworld array. It has temporarily cut off the transmission of the Coldine power. Time is limited. Let's quickly begin. Following the surge of this spiritual sense, the scorpion had already rushed to the center of the cavern outside the silver barrier. It opened its mouth with 4 sharp teeth. A nether flying ant with huge teeth quickly crawled out. In the blink of an eye, it grew to the size of a fist and nimbly crawled to the side of the silver barrier. It opened its compound eyes wide and looked at the multifaceted crystal within the silver barrier. Nether scorpion, your deduction was indeed correct. Next, let my strong little fellows destroy this barrier. The nether scorpion continued to open its insect mouth. Tiny gray ants crawled out one after another. After they left the nether scorpion, they gradually grew to the size of a fist. These nether-flying ants with ferocious mandibles spread open the transparent wings on their backs and climbed up the silver barrier with great difficulty. In just a short while, over 1,000 nether-flying ants had already covered more than half of the silver barrier, and their sharp mandibles bit down viciously. Creak, creak, sound began to appear in this incomparably quiet cave. The dark scorpion's tail flickered intentionally or unintentionally. Its compound eyes were filled with longing. Looking at the multifaceted crystal inside the silver barrier, its soul consciousness trembled. Nether ant, this batch of guards that you've created is absolutely worth the price. Based on the situation, we only need half a day's time to destroy this layer of restrictions and take away the sacred object of our clan. Lying on the ground, the nether ant raised its mandibles, its spiritual sense trembling in excitement. That's right. After I return to the abyss and cultivate for a few hundred years, I can try to enter the Insect King realm. But at this moment, the walls of the entire cave suddenly lit up with a dazzling silver luster. Streaks of bright silver lightning circulated above, illuminating the entire cave. An inexplicable pressure emerged from the surrounding walls, and the demonic chi in the cave seemed to have encountered something terrifying. It moved away from the walls of the cave and squeezed towards the center. Even the true demonic chi in the silver restriction was withdrawn back into the true demonic pool. Impossible! How can there be an attack barrier here? The Yuan sect has disappeared for tens of thousands of years. Who can activate it? The nether scorpion's compound eyes were filled with disbelief. Looking at the silver light on the surrounding walls gradually converging above them, it had a premonition that the next attack would target all of them. The nether scorpion felt the pressure and the strange situation of the demon chi around it. A trace of ruthlessness flashed in its eyes. "Get under my abdomen." Over 1,000 nether flying ants stopped biting and quickly rushed onto the nether scorpion. The nether scorpion's insect legs trembled and its body surged with a strong yin chi. Its grayish-black insect body suddenly expanded. Then, its long gray claws crisscrossed and blocked the thick chitin armor on its back. Just as it finished doing all this, the silver light on the walls all converged above its head. It converged into a bright silver lightning within the barrier at the top of the cave and shot down. The silver lightning flashed and emitted a terrifying fluctuation. The surrounding air was oppressed and became extremely distorted. The demon chi that came into contact with the silver lightning seemed to evaporate and was directly annihilated by the silver lightning. Boom! The silver lightning struck the nether scorpion's back with a loud bang. Many charred armor fragments mixed with gray blades shot out in all directions. The nether scorpion's body was directly blown away and fell into the distance. The yin chi in its body dissipated by more than half, and its insect body returned to its original size. Over 200 nether flying ants that did not have time to dodge were turned into ashes by the remaining power of the lightning. However, as the nether scorpion was blown away, the terrifying silver lightning also disappeared. The nether scorpion's legs trembled, and with a flick of its tail, it flipped its body. Its claws, which originally had sharp gray blades, now had a gap. The claws had become broken blades, and the thick chitin armor on its back had also been blasted with a small hole. However, the nether scorpion's armor was incomparably thick, and it wasn't completely destroyed. The nether scorpion's consciousness trembled. This attack should be targeted at existences above the 10th rank. If not for the silver lightning's energy targeting demon chi, I'm afraid my 9th rank insect general defense would not have been able to withstand it. The nether scorpion's compound eyes were filled with lingering fear. Even if the energy contained within was targeted at demons, the power of the attack still broke its 9th rank insect general's claws. A small part of the chitin armor on its back was also blown away. The nether ant that had escaped by hiding in the nether scorpion's abdomen also sent out a terrified consciousness. Why is there an attack restriction here? With your body, you can only barely withstand one attack. If there's another one, won't all our efforts be for naught? The nether scorpion rubbed its injured claws and looked around with its compound eyes. Nether ant, although I don't know how this attack was activated, it clearly doesn't have the power for a second attack. Look at the surrounding walls. The originally dense restriction, aura, has become extremely weak. The remaining restriction power is barely keeping the walls fixed. Clearly, the silver lightning just now has already exhausted the surrounding restriction power. The nether ant looked around and found that it was as the nether scorpion said. However, its compound eyes still flashed with unease. Afterwards, its fist-sized body surged with a surge of consciousness and enveloped the remaining 700 nether flying ants. The originally fist-sized ants seemed to have been stimulated. Each of their bodies swelled up, and their compound eyes were red. They rushed up the silver barrier again and opened their jaws, swallowing the spiritual light of the silver restriction. Their gnawing speed was twice as fast as before. The nether ant consciousness was somewhat weak. I can't help but lose some of my consciousness. The Yuan sect ruled the immortal cultivation world in the past and defeated us, the nether insect clan and the demon clan. Its strength cannot be underestimated. The sooner we leave this place, the better. When the nether scorpion heard this, his consciousness couldn't help but snort coldly. If it weren't for the demon clan's help, the immortal cultivators of the past wouldn't have defeated us so easily. Now that the demon clan has declined, no one is helping them. The next time a nether insect clan descends, it will be, The nether scorpion seemed to have discovered something, and a trace of surprise flashed through its compound eyes. There are immortal cultivators here. That's right, the restriction power on the walls has decreased greatly. They can sense the dense demonic chi here. The Yuan secret realm has opened. The top core formation, demonic cultivators of the state of Qi, will all come in. I don't have much combat power. Hurry up and deal with them. Don't disturb us from collecting this sacred object. Of course, it's a good opportunity to get some gold cores for a sumptuous meal. Chapter 807. At the bottom of the collapse pit, the top cultivators of the three demon sects stood outside a hole in the wall. Their expressions were strange, as they sensed the pure, demonic Qi coming out of the hole. The demonic Qi here was so dense that it only took them a day to recover their demonic Qi. After that, they spent the rest of the time looking for a flaw in the restriction on the wall. Unfortunately, they didn't find anything even after 2 days and 2 nights. Just as Ma Jie and Han Sha were hesitating whether they should gather their nascent soul power to resist the powerful restriction, the restriction on the wall suddenly dissipated at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then, a hole appeared in one of the walls. There was a dark passage behind it. The demonic Qi coming out of the passage was extremely pure. No one knew where it led to. Han Sha, fellow Taoist Su, have you noticed that the flight restriction up there has been significantly reduced? We'll be able to fly back to the Jade Plaza up there. Ma Jie looked up at the light above the crater with a contemplative look in his eyes. Su Junwen closed his eyes and sensed it. He nodded and said, "That's right. The restriction has been greatly reduced. Our nascent soul power is enough to resist it." Han Sha looked up and then looked at the new hole. His eyes flashed with hesitation. Ma Jie said in a strange tone, "Do you want to go back up or enter this unknown hole?" Su Junwen sneered and said, "I'm not interested in exploring again. The Yuan sect must have sealed this place for a reason. If another demon zombie leader appears, we won't be its match." After that, Su Junwen ignored the 7 demons and the blood-refining sect. He shot out a beam of black demonic Qi and enveloped the disciples of the Yin-Yang sect behind him. Then, he flew up into the sky with his nascent soul power. He really left. Ma Jie's furrowed brows relaxed when he saw this. The Yin-Yang sect was unfathomable. He was very wary of them. He was surprised that they were the first to leave. At the same time, he was also glad. He turned to Han Sha and said, "Han Sha, what do you think? Do you want to explore this cave with the blood-refining sect, or do you want to leave this place like the Yin-Yang sect? We worked well together in the Devil Refinement Cave. Why don't we work together for the rest of the time?" Han Sha glanced at the 6 fellow disciples behind him. When he saw that there was a trace of retreat in their eyes, he said in a deep voice, "We need to discuss this." Then, he waved his hand, and a gray restriction enveloped the 7 evil spirits. The corners of Ma Jie's mouth curled into an undetectable smile when he saw this. If the devil cultivators from the Yin-Yang sect were still here, he would not be so sure. However, now that the Yin-Yang sect had left, he believed that Han Sha would join forces with them. As for demonic zombies, Ma Jie did not believe there would be any. The demon Qi at the entrance of the cave was a lot purer than the demon refinement cave. It was obviously a place to refine the true demon pool's water. Besides, there were no dragon snapping stones on the walls, nor was there any corpse stench in the air. The possibility of demonic zombies appearing here was extremely low. According to the blood-refining sect's experience in exploring the Yuan secret domain, the place where the true demon will was extracted had some strange restrictions. With the help of the 7 evil spirits, the efficiency would increase a lot. Moreover, if the 7 evil spirits joined forces with them, he would not have to worry about the Yin-Yang sect people being ambushed outside. The safety of the blood-refining sect was greatly guaranteed. After all, the remaining power of the demonic seed, orb in his body, could only be used as a deterrent. If Ma Jie knew that the power of the nascent soul in Su Junwen's body would disappear after he used it, he would not be so afraid. "Boss, judging from Ma Jie's appearance, the blood-refining sect wants to explore this new underground passage. Since the Yin-Yang sect is not here, let's not get involved." "That's right, boss. Without the Yin-Yang sect, even if Ma Jie uses up all of his nascent soul's power, it will be difficult for us to fight against the blood-refining sect. The 8 of them are using a secret defensive technique that is not weaker than ours. Why don't we use this time to explore other places? That's right. We don't know how long the Demon Refinement Cave can be sealed for. What if the demonic zombies come out? Hun Sha interrupted the chattering of the others with a strange look in his eyes. Previously, in the Demon Refinement Cave, I agreed to exchange the demonic zombies' corpses for devil stones with the blood-refining sect. I'm afraid none of you know the reason. The other 6 fiends fell silent when they heard this. Of course, they remembered that Hun Sha, who insisted on the demonic zombies' corpses, changed his mind because Ma Jie said, "Your real enemy is not us." This made them very confused. Hun Sha muttered, "Ma Jie is right. Our immediate enemy is not the blood-refining sect, but the 7 fiends' true devil lord. Don't you find it strange? The 7 fiends can exist for a few generations at the same time, but there will only ever be 7 fiends' true devil lords." The others were stunned at first before their faces turned pale. That's right. The 7 fiends sect had existed for tens of thousands of years, but there would only ever be 7 fiends true devil lords. The number had never changed. However, based on their current situation, other than the 7 fiends true devil lord, one of the 7 could definitely enter the nascent soul stage. However, in the history of the 7 fiends sect, there had never been an 8th 7 fiends true devil lord. Everyone could not help but shudder when they thought of this. Hun Sha said with a gloomy tone, "I can tell you directly. As long as any one of us enters the nascent soul stage, we will have to compete with the current 7 fiends true devil lord for the quintessence baneful aura in our sect's forbidden grounds. The victor will devour the loser's nascent soul, greatly increasing their strength, while the loser's soul will dissipate." The other 6 revealed looks of disbelief and fear. What a joke. Even if they entered the nascent soul stage, they would only be in the early stages. How could they fight those old fogies? Earth Fiend hurriedly said, "Senior brother, do you have a solution to this?" Hun Sha's eyes flickered as he said, "By chance, I obtained a mystic technique. Its use is..." Hun Sha did not hold back and told the other 6 of his mystic technique. When everyone heard Hun Sha's mystic technique, a strange look gradually suffused their eyes. The fear on their faces dissipated significantly. Hun Sha said with a hint of fanaticism, "The prerequisite for this mystic technique is that the 7 of us have to simultaneously condense our nascent souls and compete for the quintessence baneful aura in the sect's forbidden grounds. If we succeed, we can directly break through to the mid-stage nascent soul stage by devouring the previous 7 fiends true devil lord." When the 6 fiends thought of the mystic technique Hun Sha mentioned, their eyes revealed shock and excitement. Hun Sha continued, "For the 7 of us to simultaneously condense our nascent souls, we naturally need a large amount of pure, true devil water and resources. Therefore, the more pure, true devil water and devil stones, the better. The passage that appeared in front of us contains pure devil chi and even the aura of the true devil intent. It's definitely a place where large amounts of pure, true devil water are stored. We have the Blood Oath Magic Tablet in our hands. We can definitely negotiate with the Blood Refinement sect." After hearing everything Hun Sha said, many people revealed contemplative looks. After a short while, Earth Fiend was the first to speak. "Let's not talk about anything else. If we can obtain more pure, true devil water, it will at least increase our chances of entering the nascent soul stage. I agree to join forces with the Blood Refinement sect." Senior brother is right. The Blood Refinement sect has been the leader of the state of Qi for a long time. We don't need to be enemies with them for the time being. No matter what, the more pure, true devil water, the better. We can slowly discuss the rest after we leave the mystic realm. Hun Sha nodded. Although the others had reservations about his mystic technique, they were all willing to join forces with the Blood Refinement sect. After all, their temporary enemy was not the Blood Refinement sect. Hun Sha removed the gray restriction and said slowly, "Brother Ma, we can join forces with your sect." Chapter 808. Ma Jie heaved a sigh of relief after confirming his alliance with the Seven Fiends sect and signing a contract with the Blood Oath Demon Tablet. He looked at the dark crack in a wall in front of him that his soul consciousness could not detect. He turned his head and said, "Gu Hun, with a pure, true demon water appears, there must be strange restrictions. Use your evil ghost to explore the way." A handsome young man in a black robe, standing behind Ma Jie, said with a bitter expression, "Senior Marshal Brother Ma, my evil spirit was injured by that guy with the surname Su. Its aura is a bit." Ma Jie waved his hand and interrupted him. "Gu Hun, there are many itinerant cultivators in the secret realm. We'll help you replenish your ghost's energy." Gu Hun was overjoyed and said, "Thank you, Senior Brother Ma. Leave it to me." Then Gu Hun opened his mouth and spat out a long black banner. A single-horned ghost made of mist crawled out of the banner and exuded the aura of a late-stage core formation realm cultivator. However, the mist was shaking and its energy was unstable. The bone soul thought of Mason's promise. It gritted its teeth and spat out a mouthful of blood essence onto the evil ghost. Cold energy surged in its body. The long banner turned into a black light and entered the evil ghost's body. Under the support of the soul sieve banner, the single-horned evil spirit, which was originally shrouded in fog, gradually became solid. It was as if it was wearing a suit of armor, and its aura became more solid. "Go!" Under Gu Hun's command, the single-horned ghost quickly floated into the tunnel. Gu Hun closed his eyes and described the scene behind the tunnel as he sensed the surroundings. "We can go forward either way. The tunnel in front of us is a crack in the wall. There are traces of restrictions on the walls. Let's go to the right first. The tunnel here is a little curved. The wall on the left is surging with pure devil chi. The pure true demon water should be behind the wall. There are many huge rocks on the ground. Huh. This jade fragment seems to be from the square above. Strange. Although this tunnel is 100 feet tall, the top is sealed. How did the rocks on the square come here? There's so many rocks, huh? There's a small sealed cave in front of us. There's a teleportation array in there." Gu Hun opened his eyes and exclaimed. Ma Jie raised an eyebrow and said, "Bone Soul, what kind of array is this? Can you tell?" Gu Hun frowned and murmured, "It seems to be a one-way teleportation formation. It teleports from the outside world to here. It can't be sent out. Strange. The formation patterns in the cave are much denser than in other places. There's nothing valuable in the cave. Wait, there's a handprint on the big rock at the entrance of the cave. There's no dirt or dust on it. It seems to have just been imprinted." Hun Sha's expression changed, and he immediately asked, "Roughly how big is this rock?" 10 feet tall. It must weigh at least 10,000 jin. As soon as the Bone Soul finished speaking, the demonic cultivators present tensed up. There was a brand new handprint on the boulder, as if someone had teleported here and casually pushed the boulder away. If it was a normal cultivator, they would definitely use their magical treasures to smash the rock. Needless to say, it was definitely that loose cultivator with a terrifying physical body, Zhang Tianbiao. Ma Jie said in a deep voice, "Be careful. The contract we signed with Zhang Yiyang has lost its effect. This guy is good at concealment, and his explosive speed is comparable to a demonic zombie. His attack power is..." Fellow Taoist Hun Sha. You guys, before he could finish a sentence, he saw Hun Sha and the others erect a gray shield. There's also a trace of nascent soul power flickering within. Hun Sha saw the strange looks from the blood-refining clan and was not embarrassed at all. He said coldly, "Don't look at us like that. This guy called Zhang Tianbiao has ambushed us before. He even stole our pure, true demonic water. It's best to be careful." Ma Jie did not expect the 7 evil spirits and Zhang Tianbiao to have fought like this. He said in a deep voice, "We should be careful too. Treat this guy as a top-level demonic zombie. Zhan Lu, activate your defensive secret technique with the others. Gu Hun, continue to investigate." A blood-red, demonic light rose. The others did not hesitate to carry out Ma Jie's order. After the battle in the plaza, they were even more wary of Lu Kuan. After the shield appeared, everyone felt much safer. Back then, even a top-level demonic zombie with nascent soul power could not break this shield. Blocking Zhang Tianbiao should not be a problem. Strange. The passage has been curving to the left. It seems to be an arc. The walls and the ground have nothing special. The restrictive power is also very weak. There's light in front. It seems to be a new entrance. No, Mayin Ghost went around and returned to the crack in front of us. This passage is a huge arc. Ma Jie pondered for a moment and said, the pure demonic chi is coming from the inside of the passage. In other words, this circular passage is where the true demonic pool and the pure true demonic water are stored. Guhan nodded and said, Senior Brother Ma is right. It should be a huge cave with a radius of 1,000 feet. It was originally sealed by the restrictive power on the wall. However, the restrictive power here has suddenly weakened. We can break the wall and enter. What's this? Guhan suddenly looked puzzled. There seems to be a magic treasure on the wall in front. A magic treasure? Yes. It's a sharp blade with 4 edges. It's emitting a very strong, cold aura. It's embedded in the wall. If it weren't for my unicorn ghost sensitivity to cold aura, I'm afraid we wouldn't have noticed it. Strange. When we first entered, why didn't I notice this? The cold aura seems to be even stronger than the demonic zombies above. Guhan looked a little greedy. Of all the people present, only he cultivated the cold aura. Unfortunately, the demonic zombies that Ma Jie collected would definitely be handed over to the sect to be studied by the old nascent soul cultivators in the sect. He would not get a share. However, he could definitely get the sharp blade in front of him. Thinking of this, Guhan could not help but control the unicorn ghost to move forward. Just as the single-horned ghost approached, the 4-sided blades suddenly shot out from the wall. Before the single-horned ghost could react, the black armor around its body was pierced through. Its green eyes revealed an extremely horrified expression. The black mist that was almost solid turned into smoke and condensed into its body. The 4 sharp blades were like a bloody mouth, greedily devouring the unicorn ghost's body. Oh no, my magic treasure! Guhan screamed in pain. His face was pale, and the aura in his body had dissipated by more than half. Everyone be on guard. Ma Jie and the others all felt the cold aura of a perfected core formation stage cultivator appear in the tunnel before them. Although the aura was not strong, it was colder than ice. It was so cold that it almost froze their souls. Even the defensive barrier could not stop the cold aura. An extremely terrifying spiritual will came from the tunnel. TSK. Human cultivators are still so cautious. I won't ambush you. This cold aura treasure tastes pretty good. Chapter 809. Everyone could not help but feel a chill run down their spines when they saw this extremely cold scorpion creature that was emitting an inexplicable pressure eating a Dharma treasure like food. Although the Soul Sieve banner was a support-type Dharma treasure, and its material was weaker than other Dharma treasures, it was still a Dharma treasure that had been tempered for more than 200 years. If their Dharma treasure was bitten by this scorpion, its spirituality would be greatly damaged. A large amount of black gas was emitted from the bone soul's body. It seemed to have used a secret technique as the aura in its body began to recover. The Soul Sieve banner that was bitten by the scorpion began to tremble rapidly. Then, a dim gray ball of light shot out from the Soul Sieve banner. A small opening appeared on the blood-colored barrier, allowing the ball of light to enter the bone soul's black gas. The bone soul's aura gradually rose as the gray ball of light entered, returning to its original level. The black gas outside its body was retracted, revealing its body. When the others saw the bone soul's appearance, their expressions could not help but change. The bone soul originally had the appearance of a handsome young man. Now, it had turned into a haggard old man with 1 foot in the grave. TSK. The human race's methods are really strange. They can even absorb being ghost essence inside. The scorpion waved its pincers and casually threw away the broken soul Civ banner. There was still a trace of sparkling saliva on the Dharma treasure that had no spirit chi. The nether scorpion looked at the group of fiendish cultivators with a hint of hunger in its eyes. After I escaped, I don't think I've tasted a golden core. I can eat my fill today. The nether scorpion's body suddenly emitted a terrifying divine sense power. The nearby air distorted. At this moment, everyone felt as if their divine sense was in a storm of sharp blades. The piercing pain in their divine sense caused everyone's faces to become distorted. Divine sense manifestation. Not good. It's a mid-nascent soul stage divine sense. Hunsha cried out involuntarily. He endured the discomfort in his divine sense and increased the output of his demonic power. At the same time, he formed a mysterious seal with his hand. Ripples appeared on the gray barrier. After this ripple appeared, the 7 evil spirits' faces relaxed a lot, and the pressure on their spiritual consciousness manifestation was greatly reduced. Ma Jie's face darkened. He didn't have any special means to resist the immortal will of a mid-stage nascent soul-level cultivator. The only thing he could do now was to unseal the remaining power of the fiend seed, orb, and infuse the crimson shield with the power of the nascent soul level. Only then could it resist the pressure of a mid-stage nascent soul immortal will. However, just as the thought appeared in his mind, the nether scorpion's sharp, 4-sided scorpion tail ruthlessly stabbed into the blood-colored barrier. A powerful penetrative force, mixed with extremely cold energy, flashed past. This cold aura caused the demonic energy within the blood-refining sect's demonic cultivators to tremble. This extremely cold energy was able to affect them even through their defensive secret technique. Clearly, this was the power of a powerful nascent soul. In the face of such a frightening tail attack, a gap was created in the solid blood-red shield. The 4-sided blade stabbed into Han Qingsheng, who was standing at the edge. This powerful late-stage core formation realm demonic cultivator, who possessed a wind spirit root, didn't even have time to resist before his dantian was shattered. The sharp blade nimbly pulled back a golden core. The nether scorpion shook its tail and threw the golden core into its mouth. A look of enjoyment flashed across its eyes. Because Han Qingsheng was killed, the blood-red shield trembled slightly and was about to dissipate. Fortunately, the bone soul reacted at this time and took its place. At the same time, Ma Jie activated the sealed power of his nascent soul and shot out a deep demonic light, causing the blood-red shield to more than double in thickness. The pressure on everyone's spiritual consciousness was greatly reduced. After the shield became thicker, Han Qingsheng's spiritual consciousness fluctuated violently. Although he had lost his golden core and his physical body was destroyed, his head wasn't hit. As long as his spiritual consciousness survived, he could take over a physical body and live on. Just as his spiritual consciousness was about to leave his body, a green gas gushed out of his dantian and enveloped his physical body. Han Qingsheng's late-stage core formation realm spiritual consciousness directly crashed into it. Ah, what the hell is this? Accompanied by a scream, his spiritual consciousness quickly dissipated. In the blink of an eye, his body turned into a gloomy green mist. It's poisonous gas. How sinister. They left poisonous gas in our defensive shield. Ma Jie's face darkened when he saw the strange scorpion outside. What are you panicking for? Maintain your defensive mystic arts. Junior sister Jean, throw out the demonic seed orb. Jean Yu's eyes lit up when she heard Ma Jie's words. She quickly took out an extremely dim black mystic artifact and threw it toward the green gas. Ma Jie quickly made a series of hand seals, and the dim demonic seed orb immediately emitted a suction force. The green mist that was about to spread out was sucked into the orb, leaving not a single trace behind. The demonic seed orb turned into a green orb. Ma Jie made a few more seals on it before putting it into his storage pouch. There's so many strange treasures. I thought I could finish you off with one move. Looks like I'll have to put in more effort. The infernal scorpion finished eating the gold core. Its compound eyes glowed with ferocity. Its four-edged tail stabbed toward the blood refinement sex, thickening shield again. Boom! A halberd that exuded a distinct pressure appeared in front of the dark scorpion blood refining sex barrier. The halberd blade formed from the Kuei earth shield blocked the tail attack. Majie's face darkened when he saw the 7 evil spirits block the attack for them. The blood demon power in his body surged violently. The remaining nascent soul power was gathered in his dantian. At the same time, the Supreme Demon also activated his Supreme Demon True form and turned into a middle-aged man. 3 pitch-black flying daggers appeared around him and pierced through his body. Above the blood-red barrier, the sliver of nascent soul power that everyone had produced began to flow towards the extreme devil. The infernal scorpion looked at the heavenly halberd and the others with disdain in its compound eyes. It let out a soft cry and waved its pincers. The slightly damaged blades on the pincers were like 2 long, saber, mystic treasures. Together with its tail, it slashed toward the heavenly halberd. Bam! The 7 evil spirits' faces turned pale. They felt the terrifying nascent soul power rushing toward their combined mystic treasures. At the same time, the infernal scorpion's pincer attack was accompanied by a strong force. The heavenly halberd was sent flying without any resistance. It trembled in the air and turned into 7 mystic treasures. The combined attack of the infernal scorpion's pincers and tail had shattered the 7 evil spirits' combined mystic treasures. However, just as the infernal scorpion's pincers were about to strike, a long sword covered in dense blood color hit the damaged part of the armor on the infernal scorpion's back. Boom! A heart-palpitating wave of energy surged from the sword. The terrifying wave of energy spread in all directions. Even the power of the airspace restriction around them was suppressed by the energy. Magia had attacked the infernal scorpion when the infernal scorpion knocked the heavenly halberd away. The infernal scorpion hadn't retracted its power yet and had no time to defend itself. Magia's attack had used all of the remaining nascent soul power in the demonic seed orb. Together with his matured blood demon sword, its power was comparable to an all-out attack from an early-stage nascent soul cultivator. The infernal scorpion didn't expect a mere core formation cultivator to be able to unleash such a terrifying attack. In addition, the blood demon sword had shattered another layer of its armor. Traces of green liquid seeped out from the cracks in its armor. The infernal scorpion let out a sharp screech. The divine sense in the air became even more turbulent as it swung its tail rapidly. A gray light flashed, and the blood demon sword was sent flying. Although the blood demon sword was sent flying, the nascent soul power on the blood demon sword was also very dense. Under Magia's control, the blood demon sword turned around and continued to tangle with the blood demon sword. In the distance, the 7 evil spirits reformed their heavenly halberds and attacked the infernal scorpion's compound eye. Although the infernal scorpion's body was strong, it didn't dare to let the combined mystic treasures attack. It swung its pincers to counter the attack. This time, the 7 evil spirits used their full strength. Although the heavenly halberd was repelled by the pincers, it was still solid and didn't split apart. Magia tried his best to control the blood demon sword. Seeing their mystic treasures being suppressed, he couldn't help but shout, "Fellow Taoist Zhang, why aren't you attacking?" Chapter 810. Although the abyss scorpion thought so, it still unconsciously spread out some of its spiritual sense, causing the spiritual sense to weaken a little. The spiritual sense of the demonic cultivators immediately relaxed. The blood demon sword and the sky piercer took advantage of this opportunity to shine brightly. The nascent soul power within them leaked out, and their power increased explosively. The abyss scorpion's tail blade and pincers were immediately suppressed by the 2 mature stage magic treasures. At the same time, The nascent soul power on the defensive shield formed by the 8 cultivators of the blood-refining sect gathered above the extreme devil's head and turned into a blood-colored sphere. The 3 blades of the Xuanming's extreme 3 blades merged into one and turned into an incomparably small silver-white flying needle. It flew out from the blood-colored sphere and turned into a blood-red flying needle. It pierced through the air towards the Abyss Scorpion with a piercing sound. The Abyss Scorpion felt the powerful might and nascent soul power contained within the blood-red flying needle. Its compound eyes flashed with astonishment, and it wanted to brandish its pincers and tail blade to block it. Unfortunately, the Blood Demon Sword and the Sky Piercer didn't care about the consumption of nascent soul power. Their power increased greatly and was equivalent to 2 nascent soul early-stage cultivators working together. Although the Abyss Scorpion had nascent soul, mid-stage spiritual sense, and nascent soul power, the energy within its body was only at the peak of the core formation realm. Physical strength wasn't its forte, and it was instantly suppressed by the 2 mature-stage magic treasures. The Abyss Scorpion could only crazily pour the extreme energy into the armor on its back to increase its defensive power. The enemy's actions were clearly aimed at the wound on its back. Whoosh! The blood-red flying needle that was originally shooting towards the Abyss Scorpion's back suddenly accelerated and changed direction. It shot toward the left compound eye under the Abyss Scorpion's armor. Bang! A terrifying shockwave soared into the sky. The 3 pitch-black flying daggers, along with some green blood, exploded at the Abyss Scorpion's left eye. The Abyss Scorpion's body staggered under the powerful explosion and almost fell to the ground. The air around the Abyss Scorpion twisted, and a terrifying spiritual sense transmitted an extremely furious thought. You deceitful cultivators, you actually dared to injure my body. The Abyss Scorpion's compound, I was destroyed by this group of core formation stage cultivators, causing it to become extremely furious. It no longer used its divine sense to scan the surroundings, but instead focused on using its divine sense manifestation ability to suppress the group of devil cultivators. The nascent soul power that the blood-refining sect's defensive secret technique had barely condensed was all given to the extreme devil's profound underworld 3 extreme blades. It was simply unable to block this terrifying spiritual sense pressure. Their eyes bulged, and they looked pained. Their divine senses were suppressed, and they couldn't even summon the demonic energy in their bodies. The body of the supreme demon, who had unleashed the power of the mysterious underworld 3 extreme blades, also withered. He looked at the enraged nether scorpion with disbelief in his eyes. His mysterious underworld 3 extreme blades weren't simple at all. They had been refined by the sect's great elder once more, and with the addition of some silver dragon meteorite iron, their quality had greatly increased. When the 3 blades were combined into one, they could be turned into thin needles with astonishing penetrative power. Coupled with the nascent soul power gathered by the defensive secret technique, they could even break the shield of a nascent soul stage cultivator. This was their biggest trump card, and they hadn't used it in the previous battle against the devil zombie. He had thought that this attack could pierce through the scorpion's compound eye and shatter its skull. But who would have thought that after the profound underworld flying needle pierced through the scorpion's compound eye, it would hit the incomparably hard armor and be repelled after piercing a small part of it? None of them would have thought that there was another layer of chitin armor under the scorpion's compound eye. Damn it! Although this scorpion's speed and strength aren't as good as the top devil zombies, its defensive power is terrifying. Its nascent soul power of the Een attribute is also incomparably dense. Its attack power can only be stronger than the top devil zombies. Blood trickled from the corner of Mason's mouth. He endured the suppression of his divine sense and forced himself to activate the Blood Demon Sword. However, his nascent soul power was almost used up in the previous attack, and the Blood Demon Sword was easily knocked away by the Abyss Scorpion's tailblade. The blood-refining sect's cultivators were almost in a desperate situation. Mason's nascent soul power had been completely unleashed from the demonic seed orb, and the others couldn't do anything under the suppression of a mid-stage nascent soul stage cultivator's divine sense. Boom! The heavenly halberd followed closely behind the blood demon sword, barely stopping the abyss scorpion's advance. Sensing the enemy's terrifying attack power, Hun Sha's eyes were filled with fear. The devil cultivators of the two sects could be said to be flawless just now. However, they did not expect that the most powerful attack of the supreme devil could not penetrate the abyss scorpion's skull. Although their heavenly halberds could barely resist the abyss scorpion, each attack consumed an astonishing amount of nascent soul power. They could not last long. Boom! Another round of attacks from the abyss scorpion's tail blade, and the pincer blade blasted the heavenly halberd away once again. The combined Dharma treasure trembled for a moment before disintegrating into 7 rays of light and returning to its original position. Then, the gray shield outside the 7 evil spirits' body flashed with a strong nascent soul aura and shot toward the top of the crater. The abyss scorpion's aggro was obviously on the blood-refining sect side. This was the best time to escape. The 7 evil spirits and the blood-refining sect's alliance contract did not stipulate that they could not escape. Ma Jie ignored the fleeing 7 evil spirits. His expression was focused as the blood devil's power and blood essence in his body surged. He planned to use some kind of secret blood devil art. Right at this moment, a black illusionary hand suddenly appeared in front of Mason. The hand was around 10 feet in size, and rich nascent soul stage aura emanated from it as it grabbed onto the infernal scorpion's body. As the phantom hand grabbed the abyss scorpion, the nascent soul power became stronger and stronger. The phantom light of the phantom hand was so solid that the devil runes on it could be seen clearly. The abyss scorpion waved its pincer blade and tail blade wildly. Other than dimming the phantom light a little, it could not break free. Phantom demon hand. It's the phantom demon technique. Junior brother Rong, Ma Jie looked at the young man behind him who looked to be in his 20s. He was pleasantly surprised. The one who attacked was Elder Qian's disciple, Rong Jingqi. He was a late-stage core formation cultivator who cultivated the phantom demon technique. His face was pale as he clenched his fist. Waves of nascent soul power surged out of his body. He forced himself to say, "This is a trump card left by Master. I can't hold on for long. Senior brother Ma, let's fly out of here together." Everyone knew that Rong Zhengqi must have received a demonic seed orb from Elder Qian. Otherwise, he would not have been able to activate such a strong nascent soul power. Ma Jie suppressed the doubts in his heart. The blood devil's power in his body surged. A large blood-red phantom light enveloped everyone. Rong Jingqi's other hand also forced a surge of nascent soul power into it. The remaining 9 members of the blood-refining sect flew into the air above the crater in the bloody light. As the blood-refining sect's group left, the black demonic hand that was grabbing the nether scorpion gradually dimmed. A moment later, the nether scorpion's struggling hand exploded into specks of demonic light that dissipated into the air. Damn it! I didn't expect these core formation cultivators to not only have rich battle experience, but also possess many nascent soul techniques. I only managed to kill one of them. The abyss scorpion pincer blade rubbed the green blood around its eyes. It looked up at the sky, hesitating whether or not it should chase after them. Those demonic cultivators seemed to have exhausted all their nascent soul techniques. Damned cultivators! How dare you covet our sacred item? Ah, Abyss Scorpion, come back! The Abyss Ant's divine sense fluctuated violently from behind. The Abyss Scorpion's remaining eyes flashed with anger. There really are cultivators hiding here. They are courting death. Chapter 8:11. Boom! Lu Kuan slammed his fist into the ground, and the tremendous force created a crater in the solid ground. A few nether flying ant limbs were scattered in the crater. There was a strange look in his eyes. Just now, it was this flying ant that exuded an extremely terrifying power of consciousness and discovered his existence. If he hadn't maintained his consciousness concealment ability, his consciousness would have been severely injured. However, this nether flying ant with a powerful consciousness was actually so weak that it was killed by a single punch. At this moment, one of the nether flying ants covered in silver seals suddenly flapped its wings and flew into the air. The air around the small flying ant was slightly distorted. Lu Kuan shook off the debris on his fist and stood up to look. It was obvious that the consciousness had been transferred out of the dead flying ant's body. He looked at the flying ant in the air and didn't intend to continue attacking. This consciousness seemed to be able to move within the flying ant's body. If he wanted to kill it, he would have to kill all the nether flying ants at the very least. Moreover, this consciousness didn't seem to have any other means other than the suppression of consciousness. It wasn't a threat to Lu Kuan. As for the hundreds of nether flying ants gnawing at the silver barrier, Lu Kuan didn't want to kill them for the time being. The silver seal that enveloped the true demonic pool required 2 Yuan jade pendants to open. If he killed these flying ants, he wouldn't be able to take out the items inside. Lu Kuan ignored the flying ants in the air and carefully looked at the multifaceted crystal inside the barrier. It was this crystal that had awakened the 13 strong, mutated flying ants in his rib cage. Not long ago, when there was a change in the seal around him, he quietly concealed all his presence and hid in this circular passage. He had seen the conversation between the 3 demonic sect disciples, the Een Ghost scouting the way behind, and the fight between the Scorpion and Ma Jie and the other demonic cultivators. Lu Kuan's contract with the demonic cultivators had long since expired. He didn't dare to join the battle so easily. Therefore, while the 2 sides were fighting, he sneaked in through the gap where the nether scorpion came out. He immediately discovered the silver barrier that contained a large amount of pure, true demonic water. The mutated flying ants that were sleeping in the ribcage were awakened one by one and constantly transmitted their desire to him. It was the thoughts of these 13 mutated flying ants that led to his discovery. This is the sacred relic of the Nether Insect clan. But where did these fellows come from? It seems that they came for this sacred relic. Looking at the multifaceted crystal, Lu Kuan thought back to what the queen bug had said in the swamp of devouring demons. He knew that the nether bug's relic could allow the nether bug to absorb xenogeneic energy. It seemed to be very useful to the nether bug. There is so much pure, true devil water inside. It seems that a Yuan school has used this sacred object to improve the purification efficiency of the true devil pond. As these thoughts flashed through his mind, Lu Kuan's expression turned solemn. A pitch-black sledgehammer suddenly appeared in his hands. He swung the 15,000 gene heaven tough hammer and smashed it behind him. Bang! A loud sound rang out. Lu Kuan felt a terrifying cold force appear on his heaven hammer. His body was unconsciously pushed back more than 30 meters. In his original position, a scorpion creature half the height of a man and covered in dark gray armor appeared. Lu Kuan looked at the nether scorpion and shook his sore arm. He looked as if he was facing a great enemy. Although he was separated by the heaven hammer, he could still feel a cold aura penetrating his soul. The magic power in his bone treasure quickly dissipated. He had expected the strength of the nether scorpion from the battle of Ma Jie and the others. But when he really fought it, he realized how terrifying this scorpion was. The attack of the broken pincer blade contained incomparable nascent soul power. It was even stronger than the combined attack of the 7 evil spirits. It was probably at the middle nascent soul stage. Fortunately, the energy inside the scorpion was only at the 7th level. Its physical strength was not strong. Although Lu Kuan was pushed back, he didn't suffer too much damage. This mid-stage, core formation immortal cultivator's body is so strong. The nether scorpion was very surprised. In its impression, the body of immortal cultivators was extremely weak. That attack just now didn't hurt him at all. It was obvious that his physical strength and defense were not weak. The nether scorpion thought and the powerful immortal will of the mid-stage nascent soul stage came out of its body. It turned into a storm of immortal will and pressed forward. It wanted to use the advantage of its immortal will to suppress its opponent. Nether Scorpion, This guy is not afraid of our immortal will. The nether ant's immortal will came from the sky and reminded the nether scorpion. It had just used its immortal will, but Lu Kuan didn't react at all. He directly killed the body that it possessed. Apparently, he had a special divine power that could block powerful immortal will. Hearing this, the nether scorpion was stunned. It seemed to be in disbelief. But when it saw that Lu Kuan's expression didn't change and there were no traces of blood in his eyes, it understood that this person was not affected by the immortal will. Immortal cultivators have a lot of messy things. The nether scorpion stopped using its immortal will and rushed over with its pincers. Seeing this, Lu Kuan heaved a sigh of relief. Although the scorpion's attack was powerful, its biggest weakness was that its movement speed was not fast. It was much slower than a top-level demonic zombie. Boom! The nether scorpion's pincers struck the empty ground. The blades sank into the solid ground, but Lu Kuan's figure had already disappeared. The remaining compound eye of the nether scorpion flashed with a hint of surprise. With its powerful immortal will, it was naturally able to capture the other party's figure. In its impression, it was rare to see a nether insect below the 8th level that could move at such speed. Despicable immortal cultivator. The nether scorpion's tail trembled incessantly, and the 4 blades on its tail suddenly separated, transforming into 4 sharp blades with astonishing power, and shot towards Lu Kuan. Lu Kuan looked at the 4 flying dagger-like Dharma treasures and felt the turbulent, nascent soul energy on them. His expression changed. He poured all of his Dharma power into the bone treasure in his body. Immediately, his body shone brightly and his speed increased again. This scorpion's immortal will is too powerful. It has completely locked onto my body. Moreover, the tail blades have the support of a powerful nascent soul energy. Its speed is astonishing. It's about to catch up. Lu Kuan's expression darkened. He simply stopped dodging. The essence, blood, and Dharma power in his body circulated in a mysterious way. The muscles on his arms intertwined, and his entire arm expanded by several times. A ferocious aura soared into the sky. His body sank, his feet firmly planted on the ground. He held the heaven hammer with both hands. The heaven hammer carried unparalleled power and smashed towards the oncoming sharp blades. Dang, 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 dang. A strong gust of wind blew. Facing Lu Kuan's 400,000 gene strength, the 4 tail blades were directly sent flying. Although the sharp blades were sent flying, Lu Kuan's arm trembled and returned to its normal size. What a rich, nascent soul energy. Even with the heaven hammer's obstruction, the Dharma power in my arm is affected. Not good. Lightning flashed under Lu Kuan's feet, and he disappeared. The 2 pincer blades missed again. The nether scorpion looked at the sharp blades that were sent flying. Its compound eyes flashed with disbelief. It continued to urge the cold, energy in its body. The 4 sharp blades flew up again and turned into gray light. They shot towards the escaping Lu Kuan. At the same time, its limbs trembled and it flew away. This can't go on. The nether scorpion relies on its powerful immortal will and nascent soul energy to attack with its tail blades. But if I turn around to block, the nether scorpion's main body will catch up again. Don't tell me I can't continue like this. Chapter 8:12. Although this insect had a lot of nascent soul power, its energy level is only at tier 7. The wounds on its pincers and the armor on its back look fresh. Clearly, it was severely injured not long ago. After Mason and the others used up their energy, this guy is at most half of its peak condition. Lu Kuan looked at the slight crack on the silver seal, and a hint of ruthlessness flashed through his eyes. The silver seal is about to break. I might be able to kill this insect. Thinking of this, the blood essence in Lu Kuan's body began to surge. A terrifying blood essence energy covered his entire body. His skin that was exposed outside the black spirit battle armor was covered with a large amount of blood vessels. His eyes were also bloodshot. Bang! A crater appeared under Lu Kuan's feet. His entire body disappeared from the spot as if he had teleported. The The four-tail blades could only stab into the shattered rocks in vain. The abyss scorpion's running body suddenly stopped. It crossed its pincers in front of its body. Just as it completed this movement, a pitch-black hammer smashed into its pincers. A terrifying force surged. The abyss scorpion's grayish-black body was pushed back by this force. Its four pairs of legs were unable to stop its body from sliding back. In front of it, Lu Kuan's extremely tall and sturdy figure could be vaguely seen. The muscles on his arms were incomparably ferocious. After this attack, the thick arms returned to their normal size. Then, Lu Kuan disappeared from the spot. The abyss scorpion's body only slid back a little more than a foot. Before it could recover from the force of the attack, the heaven hammer appeared behind its back again. The arms that held the hammer were incomparably thick. The abyss scorpion's divine sense was powerful. It seemed to have caught this attack. Its tail blades, which were only left with spikes, were forcefully swung back and stabbed backwards. Clang! An ear-piercing sound of friction rang out. The hastily swung tail blades could not withstand the brute force of the hammer and were knocked back. The heaven-tough hammer didn't stop there, and the head of the hammer, covered in magic patterns, smashed into the chitin armor outside the abdomen of the scorpion. The lower half of the scorpion's body couldn't withstand the force, and the scorpion's abdomen was directly pressed to the ground. The two attacks came almost at the same time. The residual power of the previous hammer attack had not dissipated, and the insect's body was still sliding backward. With its lower body pressed down, the scorpion's upper body, which was waving its pincers, unconsciously flipped up. The nether scorpion's combat experience wasn't lacking. It immediately guessed the enemy's goal. The yin energy within its body that contained the power of a nascent soul violently surged as it tried to stabilize its body. But at this time, the pitch-black heaven hammer appeared once more. A frightening force of more than 400,000 kilograms pressed down on the air and smashed into the abyss scorpion's jaw. Even though the abyss scorpion had the strength of a nascent soul to stabilize its body, it was still flipped over. At the base of the four pairs of legs, the insect's lower abdomen, which was covered in light gray armor, was completely exposed to Lu Kuan's ferocious arms. This speed? How is this possible? The abyss scorpion sensed Lu Kuan's reappearance, and its consciousness fluctuated incessantly. It couldn't understand how the immortal cultivator, who was being chased by its tail blade just a moment ago, could suddenly speed up so much. Its level 9 insect general consciousness could barely capture him, but its level 7 yin energy body couldn't react in time. The abyss scorpion's consciousness could only watch as this human with deformed arms wielded the heavy black hammer and smashed into its abdomen. Fortunately, although the insect's abdomen armor was slightly weaker, it was still a level 9 defense. Other than a few cracks on the outermost layer of the light gray armor and a slight tremor on the inside of the armor, it didn't suffer much damage. However, its body was lifted off the ground, and the force of the 400,000 kilograms of force couldn't be offset. The insect's body could only be sent flying horizontally. At this moment, the abyss scorpion's tail blade suddenly sprayed out a thick green fog, which instantly enveloped its body. An incomparably rotten smell spread out at the same time. What a potent poison! Just as the green poisonous gas appeared, Lu Kuan's body flashed to the back of the abyss scorpion. His originally thick and strong arm immediately shriveled after coming in contact with the poisonous gas. The skin on his arm also rotted, causing him to have no choice but to retreat. Not only was this poisonous gas poisonous, it also contained the power of the scorpion's nascent soul, which depleted the mana in Lu Kuan's arm. However, Lu Kuan's body was incomparably strong. After some of the poisonous gas corroded his skin, it was washed away by his vigorous aura. The abyss scorpion's body flew back more than 10 feet in the air and landed on the ground again. Its 8 scorpion legs were extremely nimble as they clawed the ground. Lu Kuan looked at his arm that was covered in blood vessels. The skin on his arm was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. There was still a look of surprise in his eyes. He had only used this move to explode his entire body's essence and blood previously at the Death Sea Devil's Cave. The explosion of essence and blood gave Lu Kuan's muscles a surging power. It could cause the speed of his muscles to contract rapidly. The speed of physical attacks was naturally different from moving on the ground. Now that he had entered the middle stage of the Bone Treasure Realm, the density of his blood greatly increased due to the Blood Demon Bone forging technique. The explosion of essence and blood not only lasted longer than the initial stage of the Bone Treasure Realm, but was also easier to control. Other than that, the speed of the circulation of mana in his blood also greatly increased. Even if the arm opening technique was beaten back to its original form by the power of the nascent soul, it could still be quickly activated. This was why Lu Kuan was able to consecutively attack the Abyss Scorpion's body that was protected by the power of the nascent soul in a short period of time. However, he did not expect that this scorpion had rich battle experience. It actually used poison to cover its entire body to block his attacks. Dang, 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 dang. Lu Kuan's arms expanded and contracted, blasting away the 4 Abyss Scorpion's tail blades that shot back at him. He sneered in his heart. You think I can't do anything with this? He stomped a small hole in the ground. His figure flashed, and he already appeared 10 feet away from the Abyss Scorpion. The Heaven Hammer in his hand disappeared and was replaced by 2 incomparably black big devil stones that were filled with pure devil chi. The arm opening technique flashed with a series of afterimages. The 2 devil stones brought with them a sharp whistling sound as they smashed onto the Abyss Scorpion's body at lightning speed. The violent collision caused the devil stones to explode, and the pure devil chi inside spilled out in all directions. The Abyss Scorpion, which originally thought it was safe, was smashed by this sudden stone. A mark even appeared on the outer shell of its insect body. Clearly, the power of the stone was equally shocking. Seeing this, Lu Kuan's hands did not stop moving at all. Using the power of the arm opening technique, he continuously smashed out hard devil stones. If it was before he activated his blood essence, the power of the arm opening technique would be weaker than the Heaven Hammer's direct attack. But after the activation of his blood essence, the speed of his attacks increased tremendously. With the speed boost, such a simple move like the Devil Stone opening technique immediately increased its power by several folds. The Abyss Scorpion was incomparably furious in the face of such rapid Devil Stones, but it was unable to dodge in time. It could only inject Chi into its outer shell and passively endure Lu Kuan's long-range attacks. Although the Devil Stones were hard, they were far from being comparable to the shell of a 9th-grade insect general. It only needed to protect the wound on its back and expend some Chi to defend itself. The Abyss Scorpion could also see the blood vessels on Lu Kuan's body. Clearly, he had activated some kind of secret technique. It did not believe that Lu Kuan could maintain this state for long. After all, Lu Kuan was only in the middle core formation stage, which was equivalent to a 6th-grade magical power. Lu Kuan's performance was also somewhat different from usual. He did not care about the depletion of his magical power at all. Although his arm opening technique had become denser, and his current magical power could continuously activate the power of the arm opening technique more than 60 times, it could not withstand such frequent attacks. After Lu Kuan had used the power of the arm opening technique more than 50 times, his movements suddenly stopped. Suddenly, he transformed into a series of afterimages and appeared outside the silver seal in the middle. At this moment, large cracks had already appeared on the silver seal. It seemed that it would only take a short while for it to completely shatter. What is this immortal cultivator doing? Not good. Abyss Scorpion, quick! The Abyss Ant flying in the air saw a jade pendant appear in Lu Kuan's hand. It flashed with a white halo and pressed on the silver seal. Its divine sense was terrified. However, the Abyss Scorpion had just suffered dozens of rounds of violent attacks. A small layer of its outer shell had been shattered. At this moment, the attack suddenly stopped. Its insect body was almost paralyzed on the ground. Even if it saw Lu Kuan's actions, it could not get up in a short period of time. Under the illumination of the Yuan jade pendant's halo, the originally shattered silver seal completely collapsed. Lu Kuan quickly flashed in and grabbed the multifaceted crystal in the middle. Chapter 8:13. In the huge true demon pool, which was 5 feet wide, Lu Kuan's burly body seemed very small, and in the blink of an eye, he was wrapped in the cold and turbulent true demon water. The foreign race energy, which was full of violent thoughts, seemed to have seen delicious food and scrambled to drill into his body. The true demon will, which even nascent soul stage cultivators could not resist, surged up and down violently. Facing the true demon water, Lu Kuan's bloodshot pupils revealed a calm expression. Facing the true demon water that was desperately squeezing into his body trembled slightly, and the surface of his skin emitted bursting sounds. The blood vessels that were squeezed to the extreme by the blood essence all burst open. The surrounding true demon water immediately had a vent, turning into countless tiny water lines that poured into the burst blood vessels. Lu Kuan's spiritual power, after more than 40 bursts of power through the arm, coupled with the consumption of the Yuan jade pendant, was not much left. Under the impact of the surging and turbulent true demon energy, it was wiped out in an instant. At the moment when the spiritual power disappeared, Lu Kuan's eyes suddenly bloomed with a dazzling golden light, and the remaining blood essence in his body, under the control of his heart, quickly flowed, madly converging from all parts of his body to his chest. At the same time, the blood demon power crystal in the depths of the bone treasure was also quickly unsealed, turning into pure demonic power that entered the blood essence. The liquid, true demon chi, which was full of violent thoughts, seemed to be attracted by the demonic power contained in the blood essence, and also gathered towards Lu Kuan's chest. An inexplicable, ferocious aura appeared out of thin air in the depths of the true demon pool, and Lu Kuan's burly and strong body, with the appearance of this aura, gradually expanded. The black spirit armor that wrapped around his body creaked and groaned as if it could not bear the burden. On the surface of his skin, the invisible hair grew long and black one by one, and the black hair sprouted all over his body like bamboo shoots after the rain. Abyss Scorpion, what's wrong with you? This little guy only has the spiritual power of the middle core formation stage. It's fine if you can't kill him, but you actually let him snatch the sacred object and fall into the true demon pool. What if the true demon will damages the sacred object? An incomparably angry and powerful divine sense surged outside the true devil pool. At this moment, the Abyss Scorpion had already recovered from the continuous bombardment. Its legs trembled as it scurried to a spot not far from the true devil pool. Although Lu Kuan had used his blood essence and arm strength to throw out a magic stone that contained over 400,000 kilograms of terrifying brute force, it was still not enough in front of the Abyss Scorpion's level 9 insect general's body. Only the outermost layer of the Scorpion's chitin defense had cracked. It looked like it had only suffered light injuries. However, the chilling power within the Abyss Scorpion's body had clearly decreased by a lot. It was only half of what it had been at the beginning. Hearing the Nether Ant's words, Scorpion replied coldly, "Nether Ant, can't you see that this cultivator's fleshly body is strange? His magic power is only at the middle stage of the core formation realm, but his physical body is extremely strong. He is definitely at the peak of the 7th level. With the help of his giant arms, even a 7th level devil who focuses on physical strength would not be his match. In the end, when he used his blood essence, the speed of his fleshly body skyrocketed, coupled with the strength of his giant arms. Apart from the lack of high-level energy, his combat power is almost on par with an 8th level insect general. The Nether Ant flapped its wings and flew around the true devil pool. Its terrifying divine sense emitted anger and helplessness. With its powerful divine sense, it naturally saw the human's last burst of combat power clearly. Although the Abyss Scorpion's body was strong, The chilling power within it was only at the 7th level. It was indeed difficult to kill the other party in a short period of time. Damn it, this guy is also immune to my divine sense. Otherwise, his soul would have been destroyed by us. The nether ant's divine sense was stunned. Then, it said in exasperation, "Damn it, with such a divine sense, the true devil intent in the true devil pool may not have any effect on him. This human might still be alive." Hearing this, the remaining compound eyes of the abyss scorpion flashed with disbelief. Even with our divine sense, we would not dare to enter such a huge true devil pool. This guy's divine sense is only at the 7th level. The nether ant's divine sense was sharp. It interrupted, "Abyss Scorpion, our time is limited. The 10 ultimate abyss formations' secondary formation has been destroyed. The transmission of the chilling power is only temporarily interrupted. When the chilling power resumes, we might be sealed here. With your 9th level insect general body, to be able to enter the true devil pool in such a short period of time means that this guy's magic power is almost depleted. In addition to his recent outburst, he is probably in a weakened state now. Hurry up and get him out. The sacred object is our only chance to enter the realm of insect kings." Hearing the nether ant's words, the hesitation in the abyss scorpion's compound eyes completely disappeared. Yes, without the sacred object, the nether insect race cannot become an insect king in the other world. We have no way out. The remaining chilling power in the abyss scorpion's body was injected into its abdomen. Its tail, which was covered in grayish-black armor, shook and rapidly lengthened, reaching towards the true devil pool. It did not have much chilling power left in its body. Facing such a huge, true devil pool, it did not dare to enter its entire body. It tried to use its tail blade to explore the human's body. The nether ant is right. This guy must have entered a weakened state and is trying to survive through the true devil pool. The abyss scorpion thought as it controlled its scorpion tail. Could it be that he has sunk to the bottom of the pool? There is nothing within 10 feet of the true devil pool. The chilling power in the abyss scorpion's body continued to circulate. Its scorpion tail lengthened and reached towards the bottom of the true devil pool. Haha, he is indeed at the bottom. Wait, this body is a little big, and it has hair. What is it? The abyss scorpion was delighted at first. Then it felt its scorpion tail tighten. A pair of humongous hands covered in wet hair grabbed its scorpion tail tightly. A suffocating force came from within and pulled it down violently. How is this possible? This brute force is even stronger than before. The abyss scorpion's 4 pairs of legs and 2 pincers were all firmly inserted into the ground. But in the face of the brute force of the scorpion tail, it was all futile. Its body drew a deep mark on the ground as it was pulled towards the true devil pool without any resistance. Pada! The abyss scorpion's compound eyes flickered. The chitin armor at the base of its scorpion tail quickly broke. Its broken tail was pulled into the true devil pool in a flash. Its body stopped moving. In the face of such a terrifying force, it was unwilling to be pulled into the true devil pool. Walala! The true devil water in the pool splashed everywhere. A pitch-black shadow, accompanied by a large amount of brutal thoughts, leaped out. With a rumble, it landed beside the true devil pool. Its humongous body rippled with waves of true devil chi. This was a humongous ape. It was at least 10 feet tall. Its body was covered in wet, long black hair. Dense true devil chi was steaming from it. The hideous muscles on its body were undulating. Under the contrast of its wet hair, it looked abnormally huge. However, the most eye-catching part of this ape was its 2 arms that were like pillars supporting the sky. They stood on both sides of its humongous body, almost touching the ground. It was emitting a brutal and terrifying pressure. The 2 abyss worms' powerful spiritual senses had been surrounding the true devil pool. When they saw the ape that was filled with devil chi, they cried out at almost the same time. Long arm demon ape. Chapter 8:14. When the 2 nether insects saw the appearance of the devil ape, they felt the thick and violent aura in the air. They seemed to recall some kind of terrifying existence, and a wave of panic surged in their minds. The nether ants in the air shuddered and flew toward the teleportation array at the edge of the cave without hesitation. The nether scorpion on the ground also trembled and scuttled in the same direction. At the same time, the remaining cold, nascent soul power in its body surged, and a thin layer of gray light appeared on the surface of its armor. Just as they turned and fled, the strong muscles on the black ape's body contracted. It raised its two giant arms and opened its bloody mouth full of huge fangs at the same time. The true demonic chi that surrounded him seemed to be guided by something and formed a devil ape shadow that was nearly 20 feet tall. This devil ape shadow also opened its fangs, and the violent aura on the black ape reached its peak at this moment. The huge fist brought with it a strange wave of energy and bombarded the black ape's own chest. The 6-meter-tall devil ape's shadow instantly disappeared into the black ape's bloody mouth. Roar! The earth-shaking roar was accompanied by a terrifying invisible wave. It was like a huge wave that crazily rushed in all directions. The true demonic chi in the cave was affected by this wave and turned into countless hurricanes that surged endlessly. The hundreds of nether-flying ants near the true demonic pool were just affected by this wave, and their fist-sized bodies directly exploded, turning into countless blood mists that were blown away by the surging demonic chi. The body of the nether-flying ant that the nether ant had possessed exploded before it even came into contact with this wave of energy. A fat, gray ant shadow flashed through the air, as if it had teleported and quickly flashed into the distance. A layer of gray spirit light appeared outside the nether scorpion's chitin armor, and a strong nascent soul power rolled endlessly. But even so, when the nether scorpion was affected by the terrifying roar, it was as if it had been immobilized. The nether scorpion's body was fixed in place. The inertia of its flight and the invisible wave caused the nether scorpion's body to flip over. The power of a nascent soul seemed unable to resist this strange divine ability. Poof! The remaining compound outside the scorpion armor couldn't withstand the power of the sound wave and exploded. Green blood splattered everywhere, and the gray spirit light trembled violently. The broken armor wound on the scorpion's back cracked again. After the demonic ape roared out this terrifying shockwave, its 10 feet tall body seemed to have lost something. It shrunk to 8 feet tall, just a little taller than an ordinary human. The giant arms on both sides of its body were still ferocious and repulsive. After the devil ape's body shrank, it lowered its waist and used both its hands and feet. Amidst the cracking sounds of the ground, its body turned into a blur and instantly appeared in front of the nether scorpion that flipped over. A several feet long, completely gray, lusterless boulder appeared between its gigantic arms. Blue veins bulged and twisted on the thick, black hairy arms of the devil ape as it violently smashed the boulder towards the back of the nether scorpion. The solid ground under the devil ape's feet sank more than a foot deep in the instant it exerted force. Accompanied by the thunderous sound of the air exploding, gusts of wind squeezed in all directions like sharp blades. This huge rock was like a meteor from outer space. It carried the power of thunder and ruthlessly smashed into the wound on the back of the nether scorpion's armor. Boom! The nether scorpion's flipping insect body was blasted into the ground by the rock without any resistance. A scorpion-shaped hole was created, and the gray spirit light outside the armor was trembling. After the devil ape made this attack, it did not stop. It let out an excited roar and used its giant arm to swing the huge rock again. Boom! Boom! After enduring 2 more terrifying blows from the devil ape, the nether scorpion's insect body sunk deep into the ground. The shockwaves from the shockwaves left deep grooves that extended for 2 to 3 meters. The wound on the back of the scorpion armor was greatly enlarged. A lot of green blood flowed out and dyed the armor green. The layer of gray spirit light that contained the power of the nascent soul stage on the surface of the armor was only left with a thin layer. The scorpion's pincers and limbs twitched slightly, as if they were about to regain control. After the devil ape attacked 3 times in a row, its body shrunk again and returned to the height of an ordinary person. Seeing the scorpion's reaction, the devil ape's red eyes flashed with irritation. It casually threw away the huge gray rock in its hand, and a small black hammer appeared at its thick fingertips. As if it sensed something, the black hammer let out an excited roar. A layer of black spirit light appeared on the surface of the hammer, and a deep demonic aura flickered on it. Demonic artifact. How can the long-armed demon ape use a demonic artifact? The nether scorpion had just recovered from the terrifying fluctuations of the roar. When it discovered the black hammer's transformation, its consciousness was filled with disbelief, and its body trembled even more violently. The devil ape drew back its mouth, and its huge black hairy fist carried the black hammer with an indescribable aura. It violently bombarded the wound on the armor that was only covered by a thin layer of gray light. For a moment, the 2 colors of gray and black flourished. The layer of gray spirit light on the surface of the scorpion's body trembled twice before being extinguished. The wound on the back of the armor was shattered by this terrifying force. Large amounts of green blood and armor fragments splattered everywhere. The devil ape's fist took advantage of the momentum and sank into the nether scorpion's body. Immediately after, the devil ape's exposed forearm trembled, and its 5 fingers spread open. 5 sharp nails emerged from its palm and shot out in all directions within the nether scorpion's body, emitting incomparably dull sounds. Suddenly, a mini gray scorpion phantom flew out from the insect's body and flashed repeatedly, as if it had teleported. It appeared in the distance and flashed again and again. It entered a teleportation formation at the edge of the cave and met up with the flying ant phantom that had arrived earlier. Then, the 2 insect souls disappeared in a gray light. Seeing this, the devil ape spat out a mouthful of turbid air. The blood vessels in its eyes gradually faded away. The remnant true demonic intent in its body was also restrained by some kind of power and disappeared into its body. Then, the black hairs on its body shortened and faded at a speed visible to the naked eye. The ferocious giant arm turned into a normal human arm. The ape's face was blurred and distorted. The devil ape quickly turned into a naked, burly man. Lu Kuan looked at his unscathed body and revealed an excited and emotional expression. But then his expression changed, and his strong body fell to one knee with a plop. The ferocious and violent true demonic intent surged within his body. Lu Kuan's eyes were crimson red. He clenched his teeth, and dense blood chi surged into the sky. The violent true demonic intent gradually calmed down. Then he remained motionless and sorted out the violent true demonic intent in his body. In the kingdom of Qi, in a certain cave under the abyss of death in the Nanzhou, there was a dense swarm of nether flying ants. Just the dense buzzing of their wings in the cave was enough to make one shudder. In the deepest part of the cave, there was a large formation. Many spiritual lights flickered within it. Tens of thousands of nether flying ants covered the formation. Their ferocious jaws opened and closed, devouring the various spiritual lights that emerged. In the corner outside the formation, there was a fat ant that was 7 feet tall and covered in gray armor. It was motionless and seemed to have lost its consciousness. Suddenly, a white light shone from the formation. Accompanied by a spatial fluctuation, 2 illusory insect silhouettes appeared. They were a fat, gray flying ant and a mini scorpion. Their insect souls were dim, and their consciousness was extremely weak. They seemed to have suffered great injuries. The nether scorpion's consciousness rippled with a trace of fear. The heavenly roar. It's definitely the long-armed demon ape. Could there really be remnants of a long-armed demon ape in this world? Why can he transform into a human and use the demonic artifacts of the demonic race. The nether ant at the side looked at the incoherent nether scorpion. There was a strange look in his consciousness as he said, "Nether scorpion, we have failed this time. You even lost your 9th grade insect body. What are your plans after this?" The nether scorpion's insect soul quivered and looked at the nether ant warily. "Nether ant, what do you mean? Don't forget that we still have a contract. You can't do anything to me." The nether ant said indifferently, "Don't worry. I won't do anything to you." The nether scorpion heard this and relaxed. He felt that he was overthinking. But at this moment, all the nether flying ants in the cave suddenly flew up and swarmed towards the nether scorpion's insect soul. "Nether ant, you..." Ah, the nether ant's soul floated towards the fat ant body in the corner. Its consciousness became extremely cold. "But my offspring can do something. You, who don't have an insect body, might as well contribute your soul and memories. This way, not only can I make up for my lost cultivation, I can also improve." Chapter 8:15. Eon's Secret Realm, deep underground of the chaotic valley. Lu Kuan sat cross-legged on the ground of a huge cave. A large amount of extremely pure demonic aura surged into his naked body. After an unknown period of time, he slowly opened his eyes and exhaled a mouthful of foul air. A pure demonic aura flashed, and the black spirit armor was put on his body again. At this time, the brutal aura of the true demonic intent in his body had disappeared completely. What was emitted was incomparably pure demonic aura. Although this demonic aura had not reached the level of the core formation stage, the portion of demonic aura that was emitted was very vigorous, far beyond the peak foundation establishment stage. Lu Kuan's face was full of emotion. "I didn't expect that borrowing the water of the true demonic aura and risking using the sky-piercing roar this time would have so many changes." With the blood demon bone refining technique, evolved from the blood demon technique, the aftereffects of the true demonic intent were not only solved, but the demonic aura in my body has also increased explosively. It has refined 9 times the demonic aura of the peak foundation establishment stage. Lu Kuan slightly mobilized his blood, and an overwhelming demonic aura emerged from his body. The power of his demonic aura at this time was almost equivalent to that of a demonic cultivator in the early stage of the core formation stage. Feeling the vigorous demonic aura, Lu Kuan raised his eyebrows, and a strange look appeared in his eyes. "The number 9 again?" When I first entered the blood condensation stage, the ratio of transforming blood magic power was 9-1. If there was no mutation caused by the blood vessels in my arms, I'm afraid that my cultivation time in the blood condensation stage would be much longer than Qing Tian and the others. Although the higher the ratio, the slower the cultivation speed of the blood condensation stage. But when breaking through the bone treasure stage, the amount of liquid magic power condensed into a magic power crystal will increase, and it will be easier to condense the core and melt the bones. That's why I defined the aptitude of a body cultivator from 1 star to 9 stars. Lu Kuan surged the vigorous demonic aura in his body and pondered. The blood demon bone refining technique, coupled with a large amount of true demonic aura, caused the blood to produce 9 portions of demonic aura of the peak foundation establishment stage. The density of the blood has increased to the extreme. Even if there's a surplus of true demonic aura, I'm afraid that it can't be absorbed and transformed. Right? Lu Kuan slapped his head. He suddenly remembered that when he first started cultivating blood magic, the ratio of muscle magic to blood magic was 9-1. That was why he had spent so many magic stones to cultivate. At that time, Lu Kuan had a vague feeling that such a ratio of blood magic would be of some help in the future. He didn't expect it to appear so soon. Looks like it's really because of my 9-star physique that I'm able to cultivate so many portions of peak blood devil energy. He continued to ponder. Even though the reserves of the blood demon have doubled, the difference in energy level is still huge when compared to the mana of the core formation stage. It is very difficult to produce destructive power. I'm afraid that only when the blood demon reaches the core formation stage can it continue to temper the bone treasures. With such a dense blood demon force, the difficulty of producing core formation blood demon force should be greatly reduced. I'm afraid this is the advantage of a 9-star aptitude in the bone treasure stage. After the Yuan secret realm ends, I must get the core formation blood demon technique. Lu Kuan shook his head and withdrew the dense blood demon force. He circulated his blood essence and condensed 9 blood essence crystals filled with blood demon force. He hid them in the depths of his bones. Then he looked in front of him at the corpse of the nether scorpion that was blasted into the ground. His eyes were full of emotion. Piercing Sky Roar is really a terrifying top divine ability. This expert of the nether insect clan, not to mention the strong defensive power of his armor, he even had the power of the nascent soul to protect his body. Even so, he lost control of his physical body and was unable to move. The other flying ants with weak physical bodies were also shaken into blood foam. Lu Kuan touched his chest. There were 2 faint fist marks on it. The Piercing Sky Roar technique in my bloodline memory is indeed feasible. Moreover, my powerful physical body of the bone treasure stage can also support this terrifying divine ability. The execution of the Piercing Sky Roar requires demonic force, blood essence, and true demon intent. The blood essence carries the true demon intent, and the demonic force assists and guides the divine ability. Lu Kuan walked to the side of the gray boulder and put away the dragon breaking stone that he used as a weapon. He recalled the scene when he blasted the nether scorpion. Just as I predicted, when the Piercing Sky Roar is activated, it can transform me into a devil ape and increase my strength again. Back in the Dead Sea Devil Cave, because of the stimulation of the true demon intent, my bloodline origin was activated. My physical body instinctively activated the Piercing Sky Roar. Under the strange influence of my bloodline origin, I turned into a real long-armed demon ape. With the Piercing Sky Roar and the increase in strength, I destroyed the physical body of the Black Fiend Demon King. Lu Kuan clenched his fists and looked at the huge crack on the ground that was blasted open by the terrifying force. He murmured, "This devil ape's body, the increase in strength definitely exceeds the long-armed demon ape strength. Moreover, it increases the entire physical body, not just the arm." Then he thought of something and frowned. "Unfortunately, without the origin power of the physical body, I can't exert the full strength of the devil ape's body. Just now, with the help of the ground, the strength that erupted was more than 500,000 kilograms. If I can fully borrow the force, the devil ape's body can definitely unleash an astonishing brute strength of 600,000 kilograms. 600,000 kilograms, it has doubled the strength of my physical body. If I comprehend the origin power of the physical body, the strongest attack of my physical body will increase to a terrifying degree." Thinking of this, Lu Kuan frowned again. However, the sky-piercing roar and the devil ape transformation require the consumption of true demon intent to be used. Moreover, if I have to maintain my consciousness, the devil ape transformation's attack will consume a large amount of demonic power. Previously, I could barely unleash 4 attacks. Even if I carry a large amount of water of the true demon with me, the amount of blood demon force in my body has reached the limit. If I use this ability again, unless my blood demon force reaches the core formation stage, the remaining true demon intent in my body will not be consumed. It seems that I won't be able to use it for a while. Sighing, Lu Kuan lightly leaped onto the armor on the back of the Abyss Scorpion. He reached into the broken armor and took out the Heaven Hammer that was stained with green blood. The Abyss Scorpion called the Heaven Hammer a demonic tool. It should be a weapon of the demon race. The blood demon force relies on the true demon intent to cultivate. When I used the demon arm, the brutal aura was activated to the maximum, so the demon arm could use part of the Heaven Hammer's power. Lu Kuan had killed the rogue cultivator Nyo Sengoku and the miraculous gates Song Li by relying on the Heaven Hammer's power. After transforming into the devil ape, My demonic power contained pure, true demon intent, so the Heaven Hammer erupted with terrifying power at the end. With more than 500,000 gene of brute force, it smashed the nascent Soul Stage's defense in one fell swoop. Shaking off the blood on the Heaven Hammer, Lu Kuan put it away. Just as he was about to investigate the Abyss Scorpion's body, a faint silver light suddenly lit up on the ground outside the Devil Pool. Not good. The silver restriction can restore itself. Lu Kuan's expression changed. His figure flashed again and again, and he arrived outside the small pool that contained the pure water of the true demon. This small pool was the size of a bathtub. There was a faint silver light outside that prevented the true demon intent from entering, so no true demon water splashed into it. The liquid inside was still pure. If the people of the Blood Refining Sect and the Seven Fiends Sect saw so much pure water of the true demon, they probably wouldn't have escaped so easily. At this time, the silver light on the ground at the edge of the small pool and the true demon pool slowly rose. It seemed that the nether flying ants had swallowed a lot of energy, and the recovery speed was extremely slow. Chapter 8:16. In the second level of the Hidden Realm, there was a swamp filled with a rotten and damp smell. Countless black bees the size of a fist were flying between the golden trees. They followed a fixed trajectory and shuttled back and forth between the towering golden trees. This swarm of bees was the famous devouring demon bees in the second level of the Hidden Realm. A swarm of thousands of devouring demon bees would return to the tree holes in the middle of the swamp after collecting the tree gums. They would gather the tree gums and brew queen bee gums to maintain the stability of the unknown magic formation in the devouring demon swamp. On this day, after the devouring demon bees returned to their nest, they flew close to the wall for some reason. The tree gums that they collected were also temporarily stored on the wall, as if they were afraid of something. In the middle of this huge cave, besides a pillar made of intertwined golden tree roots, there was an extremely strong bald man. There was a huge golden fat insect beside his ear, flapping its transparent wings and flying in the air strenuously. In front of them was the corpse of Scorpion that was half the height of a human. Its entire body was covered in gray-black chitin armor. There were only 2 wounds on the corpse. One was the wound at the end of the insect's abdomen, and the other was the hole in the back of the Scorpion's armor. This hole with green blood remaining looked like the fatal wound that killed the Scorpion. This bald man was naturally Lu Kuan. It had been half a month since the collapse of the Chaotic Valley. After he recovered his mana, he did not explore other places. Instead, he returned to the devouring demon swamp. Lu Kuan looked at the corpse in front of him and frowned. This scorpion is the razor venomous scorpion of another insect tribe. The fat insect flapped its wings and carefully landed on the armor on the scorpion's back. It felt the cold aura on the armor, and its compound eyes flashed with fear. Yes, sir. This is definitely a razor venomous scorpion. It's also a level 9 insect general. Lu Kuan touched his chin and said, "Didn't you say that anything above the insect general level would be destroyed by the Hidden Realm's restrictive spell? How did this guy appear?" The fat worm didn't seem to understand. The feelers on its head wriggled above the hole on its back. After a while, it replied, "My lord, this body is indeed a 9th level insect general, but the colding power in its body is only at the 7th level. Yuan School's band can't judge the strength of the body, just like you, my lord, can enter the secret territory with a devil general body." Fat Insect's voice was laced with a flattering tone, as if he was sure that Lu Kuan was a demon master. Lu Kuan recalled the teleportation formation in the underground cavern and said thoughtfully, "In other words, this scorpion snuck in from the outside world. Strange. I feel that its aura is somewhat familiar." In the depths of the fat insect's compound eyes, a trace of sadness flashed past. It was now equivalent to the array spirit of the devouring swamp's purification array. With its nature of being afraid of death, it didn't dare to leave at all, fearing that it would be crushed by the array. Right, the land of death. Lu Kuan's mind suddenly flashed with a bright light. With a wave of his hand, 13 watermelon-sized ants and a spiky insect pupa appeared on the ground. The bodies and legs of these ants were covered with muscle lumps. They were incomparably thick and seemed to be full of explosive power. Their mandibles and teeth were used to attack, but compared to their bodies, they were somewhat pocket-sized. They were exuding a cold, power aura and were at the second level. The aura of this insect pupa was almost exactly the same as that of the scorpion. When the fat worm saw this scene, its compound eyes opened wide and repeatedly looked at the deformed ant. If it was not mistaken, the ant pupa was mixed with the energy of the Emperor Gel. Obviously, the Emperor Gel that was snatched away by Lu Kuan was eaten by these strong ants. The 13 ants surrounded Lu Kuan affectionately and used their tentacles to rub against Lu Kuan's calf. But soon, they were attracted by the corpse of the razor-venomous scorpion in front of them. Their compound eyes turned red as they transmitted a strong thought to Lu Kuan. Lu Kuan nodded lightly. These ants' legs trembled and excitedly scuttled into the gap on the back of the nether scorpion's armor. Then, a series of chewing sounds came from the scorpion's body. It should be right. This razor-venomous scorpion came out from this insect pupa. The insect pupa came from the land of death, and the land of death runs through the border between Wei and Shu, all the way to the abyss of death. Before the Yuan secret realm opened, there seemed to be news of the abyss of death mutating. Could it be that this scorpion used some method to try to enter the Yuan secret realm? Thinking about it this way, the land of death, the abyss of death, the Yuan secret realm, and the nether insect clan seemed to be linked together. After pondering for a moment, Lu Kuan looked at Fat Insect, who was in a daze, and said, "Little Insect, last time you told me that the golden demon tree in the Devil Swamp was created by the Yuan school to imitate the nether insect clan's sacred object. The purpose is to purify the true demon chi through the magic array here?" "Yes, Lord," Lu Kuan said again. "In other words, your sacred object can not only allow the nether insect clan to absorb other energy, but it can also remove the true demon chi from the true demon chi." Fat Insect shook his head and said, "This seems to be the research of the Yuan school." In fact, the sacred object of the nether insect clan, in addition to allowing the nether insect clan to absorb different kinds of energy, its biggest use is to help us enter a higher realm. Lu Kuan's eyes revealed a thoughtful look. The sacred object of the nether insect clan that he obtained was equivalent to the true demon pool of the devil clan. However, the number of true demon pools in the immortal cultivation world was more than the sacred object of the nether insect clan. The scorpion could only come here to steal. The sacred object of the nether insect clan had the effect of purifying the water of the true demon, which could affect the true demon chi. Coupled with its characteristics of transforming energy, it would certainly have a lot of inspiration for Lu Kuan's cultivation method. After all, Lu Kuan's current cultivation method involved not only spiritual power, but also demonic power. His devil ape transformation and sky-piercing roar also required the true demon chi to be activated. After pondering for a moment, Lu Kuan suddenly exclaimed in surprise. He found that the flying ants in the scorpion's body had fallen asleep one by one, and the strange demonic power in their bodies was rolling. "My lord, the bloodline of these flying ants is similar to that of the razor-venomous scorpion. They don't seem to be afraid of the toxins in the flesh." The fat worm's face was full of disbelief. In its perception, the bloodline of these 13 flying ants was extremely strange. Apart from the razor-venomous scorpion, there were also nether flying ants, and even a little bit like the lord in front of it that it was afraid of. Lu Kuan sensed that the life aura of these mutated flying ants was stable, and there were even signs of a breakthrough. His face lit up, and he stored the corpse of the razor-venomous scorpion and the mutated flying ants in it into his rib cage, waiting for them to be slowly digested. After the mutated flying ants had devoured the golden demon trees, beat Emperor Gel, They had already reached the second level. Now that they had devoured the flesh of the razor-venomous scorpion, they might be able to advance even further. Little insect, see you next time. The fat worm looked at Lu Kuan's departing figure, its compound eyes still flashing with intense confusion. It couldn't understand why this flying ant that looked like a stem borer insect clan had a bloodline that wasn't from the nether insect clan. According to the information in its bloodline inheritance, it was impossible to hatch a nether insect with such a mixed bloodline. Lu Kuan didn't know what the fat worm was thinking. He had only come to the devil-devouring swamp on the way to ask this little insect that had awakened its bloodline inheritance if it knew anything about this nether scorpion. At the same time, he also wanted to test the use of the nether insect sacred artifact. Razor-venomous scorpion. It seems that the claws and tail of the razor-venomous scorpion are both rare treasures. That broken tail with the venom sac is also in my storage space. This poisonous fog can definitely threaten a nascent soul stage cultivator. Lu Kuan flew rapidly in the air, ignoring the devil-devouring bees that were chasing after him. Following the route he had taken before, he returned to the lava catacombs in just half a day. A 20-foot-long molten fiend crocodile was lying in the lava outside the cave, bathing. It was the level 4 peak molten fiend crocodile king that Lu Kuan had brought over from the first level of the Yuan secret realm. Its aura had increased again, and it seemed to have reached a critical point, as if it could break through at any time. However, its eyes had a look of hopelessness. Hearing the sound of something breaking through the air, the little fiend crocodile king raised its head and looked over. When it saw that it was Lu Kuan, its eyes lit up. It flapped its tail and climbed out of the lava. The other huge molten fiend crocodiles raised their heads to take a look before diving back into the lava. Lu Kuan landed at the entrance of the cave and walked in. Looking at the little fiend crocodile king that was following him closely, he said casually, "You little crocodile, why are you in such a hurry? Could it be that you want to go back?" The molten fiend crocodile king kept nodding. Although its cultivation had increased during this time, its life was very boring. All the female crocodiles here were stronger than it, so it didn't want to mate with it. For the demon crocodile king that was the king of the first level, such a life was unbearable. It hoped that Lu Kuan would bring it back to the first level. Lu Kuan took steady steps and soon arrived at the depths of the molten cave. The true devil pool in the middle was wrapped in a layer of silver light. Next to it was a jade basin that was half filled with pure, true devil water. In the depths of the molten cave, 2 pairs of lantern-sized red eyes appeared, looking at Lu Kuan with vigilance. The aura of high-level magical beasts filled the cave. Lu Kuan didn't pay attention to them. In his mind, he was recalling the harvest of the second level. The biggest harvest was naturally the blood essence of the giant long-armed ape that he had obtained in the Devil Beast Garden. In addition to deepening his blood vessels, this drop of blood essence also gave him the inheritance of memories. Not only did it allow him to learn Tong Tian Roar, but it also allowed him to understand the profound cloud body refining secrets and the devil power of qi and blood. Coupled with the battle of the devil zombies and Hong Yuntian's notes, Lu Kuan had a clear direction towards the next big realm of the body, refining secrets. In addition to these, the storage pouches of the 5 top devil cultivators, a large amount of pure, true devil water, the corpses of the devil zombies, the corpses of the sharp blade scorpions, the sacred objects of the dark insect clan, the treasures of the secret territory, and so on, Lu Kuan could be said to have a great harvest. However, it was not easy to convert these gains into strength. After all, his path was different from all the other cultivators. Chapter 817. Half a year passed in the blink of an eye. Outside the silver light curtain at the edge of the first layer of the secret territory, 8 Foundation establishment stage demonic cultivators stood scattered. At this moment, 2 men stood at the front of the team. Although their cultivation was the lowest, their demonic power was extremely pure. One of them was elegant and handsome, while the other was tall and sturdy with a fierce face. I didn't expect Big Brother Zhang to have such an opportunity. If I'm not wrong, that passage is likely to be made of broken dragonstone. It said that this material is extremely inert and sturdy. Even a nascent soul stage cultivator would find it difficult to break it. That's why it can withstand the high temperature of the volcano's lava. The handsome young man sighed with emotion. The tall and sturdy man lamented, "You don't know, but the ground in the depths of the passage is actually filled with demonic stones. With my strength, I can't break it at all. I can only pick up some broken stones. Otherwise, the demonic stones I brought back would be more than 20,000. The handsome young man laughed involuntarily and said, "Big Brother Zhang, you should be content. We've been searching for so long. Including the demonic stones we obtained from the Seven Fiends sect and the Yin-Yang sect, we've only obtained about 50,000. Besides, Big Brother has been cultivating in that demonic stone land for half a year. The increase in your cultivation is the biggest harvest." Hearing this, the tall and sturdy man urged the demonic power in his body to improve with a complacent expression. This tall and sturdy man was naturally Lu Kuan. In the half a year since he returned to the first layer of the secret territory, he relied on the speed of a core formation stage cultivator and his powerful divine sense to search for demonic stone land and plunder a large amount of demonic stones. The demonic stones in the storage pouch at his waist were only a fraction of his harvest. In his soft ribs, there were more than 200,000 demonic stones. After plundering the first layer, Lu Kuan easily found Su Zihong and the others. He fabricated that in order to escape from the pursuit, he coincidentally found a secret passage at the foot of the volcano and went in to find the demonic stone land. At this time, there were only 8 people left in the Blood Refining Sect Foundation establishment stage team. There were 3 blood devils. Except for Zhang Yiyang, who was disguised by Lu Kuan, Su Zihong and Chun Fenghua were lively. The only female blood devil, Shang Guanyu, was ambushed and killed by the Seven Fiends sect not long after the secret realm opened, together with her second team. Aside from the blood devil, only 5 other Foundation establishment stage disciples were still alive. As for Zhang Yang's team, only Lei Batian, Chun Qin'er, and the taciturn middle-aged man, Ouyang Sheng, were left. Only 2 people from Su Zihong's third team survived. It was obvious how tragic this trip to the secret realm was. Although the death rate was extremely high, the remaining people had obtained great benefits. There were a few more storage bags on their waists. As Lu Kuan and Su Zihong chatted casually, he used his divine sense to pay attention to Chun Fenghua, who was sitting cross-legged and adjusting his breathing. After this trip to the secret realm, this Chun family's eldest young master seemed to have calmed down a lot. This kid definitely has his suspicions and is searching for the restrictive spells inside of him. When he tries to reach core formation, he'll know that I wasn't lying. When that happens, I'll meet him again. Just as Lu Kuan was pondering, the silver light curtain in front of them suddenly emitted a bright light, and a vast and ancient aura spread out. Senior and junior brothers, a year has passed. You can activate the Jade Talisman of the Secret Realm now. Everyone quickly stepped forward, and the Jade Talisman in their hands glowed brightly. In the middle of a barren desert in the central province of the state of Qi, a huge pit restriction emitted a dazzling light. The nascent soul stage cultivators sitting cross-legged around it opened their eyes one after another. A large amount of strong wind mixed with yellow and white air currents gushed out from the edge of the pit. Demonic Qi, spiritual Qi, and devil Qi mixed together on the silver light curtain, forming small hurricanes. Swish, swish. Countless rays of spiritual light flashed, and in the 4 directions of the crater, many human silhouettes wrapped in white light appeared. The nascent soul stage cultivators of the 4 factions all acted and released rays of demonic light to wrap these people up and drag them out of the crater. Then, those yellow and white hurricanes, mixed with scattered devil Qi, drilled downwards. The silver light curtain gradually disappeared, revealing the cracked rocks in the pit. In the camp of the blood refining sect, Situ Hao ignored the foundation establishment stage cultivators who had suffered heavy losses. Instead, he looked at the 9 core formation stage cultivators with an ugly expression and said coldly, "Ma Jie, what happened this time? How did you lose one of your people?" With 2 fiend seed, orbs, even if the 7 fiends sect and the Yin Yang sect work together, Han Qingxing's ability to escape is not weak either. Ma Jie smiled bitterly. His lips moved slightly as he explained to the mid-stage nascent soul stage elder. Situ Hao's brows furrowed as he listened to Ma Jie's story. The large number of top-tier devil zombies in the cave of fiend refinement, the scorpion with the power of a nascent soul, the strange rogue cultivator with a powerful body, and the top disciple of the Yin Yang sect who cultivated the power of a nascent soul at the core formation stage. Even Rong Zhengqi's fiend seed orb had surprised Situ Hao. This trip to the secret realm sounded even more dangerous than his trip to the Yin Yang sect. Ma Jie and the others were lucky to only lose 1 person. After listening to Ma Jie's story, Situ Hao glanced at the Yin Yang sect from afar. He felt like he had heard of a cultivation method that allowed one to change their gender and cultivate the power of a nascent soul at the core formation stage before. After pondering for a moment, Situ Hao's powerful mid-nascent soul stage divine sense emerged from his body and probed towards the area of the Western continent's rogue cultivators. The 3 nascent soul stage cultivators of the West continent were shocked. They used their divine sense to block in front of them. One of them, a fat old man, said in a low voice, "Situ Hao, what is the meaning of this?" Situ Hao snorted coldly. "Nothing. I just want to confirm the identity of these juniors." The fat old man's eyes were filled with anger. He said angrily, "Situ Hao, we have an agreement. The elders are not allowed to interfere in the battles between the juniors in the secret realm. Besides, do you think these juniors can kill the core formation stage disciples of the blood refining sect?" Situ Hao's face darkened. Just as he was about to say something, he suddenly gasped and turned around. His eyes were filled with respect. At the same time, the nascent soul stage cultivators present seemed to have sensed something. Their faces changed greatly, and they summoned their life-bound magic artifacts, as if they were about to face a great enemy. Soon, an incomparably dense blood-colored light appeared in the sky. Even if they were dozens of miles away, they could still feel the monstrous and terrifying demonic chi pressure. Under the influence of this pressure, the foundation establishment stage cultivators fell to the ground one by one. Their faces were filled with fear, and they almost couldn't breathe. Even the core formation stage devil cultivators were pale, and the demonic chi in their bodies was somewhat stagnant. The speed of this blood-colored light was extremely fast. It was still in the sky a moment ago, but in just 1 or 2 breaths, it arrived above the blood-refining sect. The demonic chi dissipated, revealing a bald, middle-aged man with red eyes and a thin figure. This man quietly floated in the air. That monstrous demonic chi aura was restrained by him, and the pressure on the devil cultivators was relieved. When Situ Hao and the core formation stage disciples of the blood refining sect saw the middle-aged man's face, they all bowed with a solemn expression. "Greetings, Grand Elder." When the foundation establishment stage disciples of the blood refining sect heard this, their faces were filled with fear and reverence as they bowed in reverence. No one expected that the number 1 devil cultivator in the state of Qi, the late nascent soul stage grand elder of the blood refining sect, Old Devil Pang, would personally come to the entrance of the secret realm. Old Devil Pang indifferently looked at the other nascent soul stage cultivators and waved his hand. This old man was passing by the central province. It just so happened that the secret realm was about to end, so I decided to take a look. Where's that brat Han Qingsheng? Junior Marshal Brother, what's going on? Old Devil Pang frowned when he saw that his sect was missing a core formation stage cultivator. Situ Hao bitterly reported the matter to Old Devil Pang. The communication between nascent soul stage cultivators was extremely fast. Old Devil Pang quickly learned of the situation in the secret realm. He looked in the direction of the sacred Yin-Yang sect and lightly exclaimed, "You found the Yin-Yang sect? You guys actually managed to find a Yin and Yang body. This little fellow is probably cultivating the Yin-Yang illusion magic, right?" When the nascent soul stage cultivator from the sacred Yin-Yang sect heard this, a look of nervousness appeared in their eyes. The devil chi in their bodies slowly surged. The muscular man said in a deep voice, "Old Devil Pang, are you going to attack the juniors?" Old Devil Pang raised his head and laughed. "Don't worry. This old man won't bully the juniors." Then, Old Devil Pang ignored the sacred Yin-Yang sect and looked in the direction of the Western Province. He stealthily avoided the three nascent soul stage devil cultivators with his divine sense and scanned the bodies of the core formation stage cultivators. He turned around and shook his head. "All the core formation stage cultivators here are real. Their chi blood is also normal. There's no one here. I'm afraid that guy was killed by the undead creature." When Ma Jie heard this, he was slightly taken aback. After all, that scorpion had the power of a nascent soul stage cultivator. How could a core formation stage cultivator be a match for it? Old Devil Pang scanned the remaining foundation establishment stage cultivators and focused on Su Zihong. A satisfied smile appeared on his face. "All right, Junior Marshal Brother, summon the Blood Cloud flying ship and return to the Blood Devil mountain range." "Yes, Grand Elder." Situ Hao waved his hand, and a black battleship that was more than 10 feet long appeared in the air. Lu Kuan followed behind Su Zihong and flew onto the Blood Cloud battleship. He heaved a sigh of relief. Old Devil Pang's arrival was beyond his expectations. Fortunately, the thick chi blood in his body was concentrated in the depths of his bones. Moreover, Zhang Yang was only an early-stage foundation establishment stage cultivator, so Old Devil Pang didn't pay much attention to him. Chapter 8:18. Deep in the Blood Demon Mountain Range, in a cave with dense demonic chi, Chun Fenghua's face was gloomy as he held a sound transmission talisman in one hand. During the trip to the Yi Yuan secret realm, all the Chun family disciples were killed. Those core formation old fellows actually took the opportunity to pressure father, wanting to reduce my cultivation resources as compensation. He gritted his teeth. Don't these people know that there are only 3 foundation establishment blood demon sons in the sect? My cultivation is the highest, and I could try to break through at any time. If I enter the core formation stage, with the power of the blood demon art, my strength will definitely surpass my peers. Chun Fenghua crushed the family's sound transmission talisman and waved his sleeve. With a flash of light, a green jade bottle appeared on the ground. It exuded a shocking amount of blood energy, and a blood-red pill the size of a longan slowly flew out. The demonic blood in Chun Fenghua's body surged with the appearance of this pill. He looked at the pill, his expression a bit excited. I heard father say that the ancestor paid a great price to obtain this blood spirit pill from Elder Qian. It was refined from an ordinary blood spirit pill with a massive amount of foundation establishment demonic cultivator's blood essence added in. It is a supreme grade blood spirit pill. In addition to being very helpful for breaking through the first few layers of the blood demon art, it can also increase the success rate of refining the blood demon pill. Chun Fenghua looked at the blood spirit pill with infatuation for a while before reluctantly putting it away. Then he looked at his own body and felt the pure demonic power circulating freely in his body. He frowned. I've already used an excuse to have the ancestor check my body. There are no traces of internal injuries, nor are there any restrictions. The ancestor is at the mid-nascent soul stage. He can even see through the methods of a late nascent soul stage cultivator. If that's the case, I'm not under any restrictions at all. Chun Fenghua recalled the scene in the secret realm where he met the burly man on the dual peak demonic volcano. He was somewhat puzzled. This doesn't make sense. This man could kill me with a raise of his hand. Why would he play with me? The reason I was able to enter the peak foundation establishment stage in such a short time and be chosen as the Blood Demon Son is because of that secret technique. Such a mysterious technique must have its flaws. Chen Fenghua became more and more worried. The reason why he could become the Blood Devil was not because he had a great aptitude or a special constitution. Instead, it was because he had cultivated a cultivation method improved by the ancestor. In just 60 years, he had reached the late stage of foundation establishment. Then, he had destroyed his own cultivation and accepted the Blood Demon Cave's test with his late-stage foundation establishment divine sense. Relying on his powerful divine sense, he was lucky enough to survive the true devil will and obtain the Blood Demon technique. After that, the Chun family invested countless resources on him and barely pushed him to the peak of the middle stage of the foundation establishment realm. After that, he was unable to advance any further until he met that female core formation realm cultivator many years ago. He had never heard of a secret technique that could increase the cultivation speed of demonic arts. Later, he had the loose practitioners controlled by several families tested out. After discovering that it was really effective and had no side effects, Chun Fenghua couldn't wait to cultivate it. As for those loose practitioners, they were naturally killed by him. In the next few years, his blood demon technique cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds, which attracted the attention of Elder Qian. Elder Qian thought that he might have some kind of hidden constitution that was suitable for the blood demon technique, so he promoted him to the Blood Devil Master. Otherwise, with his talent of passing the test by destroying his own cultivation, the Blood Devil Master had nothing to do with him. Chun Fenghua clenched his fists. There is only one chance to reach the core formation realm. If I fail, my status in the family will definitely plummet. It will even affect my father's position as the head of the family. After all, the resources I have consumed are enough to pile up 3 or 4 core formation realm demonic cultivators. The more Chun Fenghua thought about it, the greater the pressure in his heart. The hidden danger that the mysterious man had told him was like a malignant tumor. Even if the ancestor had checked it, he still couldn't calm down. At this moment, Chun Fenghua suddenly sensed something. He made a certain gesture with his hand, and the restriction at the entrance of the cave shook. A voice transmission talisman slowly flew in. He used his divine sense to explore inside, and his face immediately changed. He hurriedly opened the restriction of the cave and flew out on his flying magic tool. The mountain range Chun Fenghua was rich with demonic qi. It wasn't far from the cave residence of the core formation realm demonic cultivators. Only the strongest group of foundation establishment realm disciples were qualified to use this cave residence. He looked at the empty sky and the intact mountain range restriction not far away. His expression was ugly as he returned to the cave residence. He quickly closed the restriction and took out the voice transmission talisman he had just obtained. Chun family's boy, you can't find the abnormality in your body, right? You just need to try the following spell, and you will know that I am not lying. Chun Fenghua's eyes flashed with fear. This is the depths of the blood refining sect. If you want to hide here, not to mention the countless restrictions and arrays, you will have to avoid the divine sense of a nascent soul realm elder. This person can actually send a voice transmission talisman. How'd he do it? He continued to read the contents of the voice transmission talisman with a nervous heart. He found that the latter part of the spell was just a way to operate demonic qi. It was very simple and didn't seem to be harmful. After pondering for a moment, Chun Fenghua made a hand seal and operated it. As the demonic qi in his body operated, the surrounding demonic qi seemed to be affected by something and became somewhat restless. Chun Fenghua immediately felt a trace of a different energy appear in the demonic qi in his body. It was this energy that caused the demonic qi to become restless. To Chun Fenghua's horror, he couldn't control this energy at all. If it weren't for the voice transmission talisman, he wouldn't even be able to sense it. Chun Fenghua broke out in cold sweat. That man was right. There was some kind of mysterious restriction in his body. Moreover, This restriction couldn't be detected by a mid-nascent soul realm ancestor. If this strand of energy were to suddenly appear and cause trouble during his aura's core formation, he would definitely fail without even thinking about it. After all, for a breakthrough of such a large realm, even the slightest interference from the outside world could cause failure. Chun Fenghua composed himself and continued to read the voice transmission talisman in his hand. Boy, you should have noticed it. In fact, this is also your opportunity. If this special energy is used properly, it can increase your chances of core formation. If you want to successfully form your core and become the Blood Devil Son of the Blood Refining Sect, go to the mountain 200 miles east of the Ash Basin in the western region in a year. There will naturally be benefits for you. Chun Fenghua's expression changed. This person's purpose is very obvious. He wants to get his hands on the Blood Devil art. However, with the Oath Stone, even if the ancestor wants it, I can't give it to him. That's right, this guy seems to have said that he has a way to avoid the Oath Stone. Thinking of this, Chun Fenghua couldn't help but fall into contemplation. His fingers unconsciously rubbed, as if he was having a fierce mental struggle. After a while, he exhaled and said, "If it weren't for the secret technique given by that female core formation cultivator, I, Chun Fenghua, wouldn't have been able to become the Blood Devil Son. This time, it might be another opportunity for me." His eyes flickered with something called ambition. Chapter 819. In a certain cave of the blood-refining sect, Rong Zhengqi stood in front of a red-haired old man with a respectful expression. The red-haired old man had a well-proportioned body and wore ordinary linen clothes. His face was ruddy, and his body emitted terrifying demonic energy fluctuations. His eyes were closed, and he held a jade slip in his hand. He seemed to be reading the contents of the jade slip. Rong Zhengqi looked at the red-haired old man with reverence in his eyes. This person was his master, Elder Qian, the chief disciple of Old Demon Peng, the blood-refining sect's managing elder. A year ago, Elder Qian had given him a demonic seed orb in private and told him that there was a hidden demonic skill pavilion at the center of the mountain range in the second layer of the secret realm. He had to find a way to secretly seize the remaining jade slips inside. With the demonic seed orb in hand, even the blood demon, who also used the demonic seed orb, wouldn't be able to detect the illusions of the dual illusion technique. After all, the demonic seed orb couldn't strengthen a cultivator's consciousness and see through illusions of the nascent soul realm. After going through the secret realm, Rong Jingqi felt that his master was unfathomable. The demonic arts pavilion actually existed in the chaotic valley. Unfortunately, facing a peak expert like Su Junwen, he only managed to obtain one jade slip even after activating the demonic seed orb. He was worried that his master would scold him. After a while, Elder Qian slowly opened his eyes. There was still a hint of surprise in his eyes. When he saw that Rong Jingqi had recovered, he chuckled. "Jingqi, don't blame yourself. The person from the Yin-Yang sect has a yin and yang body. He cultivates the cultivation method of the Yin-Yang sect's founder. It's already good that you were able to obtain one jade slip." Rong Zhengqi sighed in relief. "Thank you for your understanding, Master." Elder Qian continued. "Zhengqi, let me ask you, when you snatched this jade slip, did any of your fellow disciples discover it?" Rong Zhengqi recalled and said, "Junior Sister Zhan's demonic seed orb had already been exhausted. The others also used up a lot of energy. They couldn't have seen through my illusions. However, the person from the Yin-Yang sect," Elder Qian waved his hand and said, "the Yin-Yang sect is our sect's enemy. It doesn't matter even if they know about it. Zhengqi, your luck is pretty good. You managed to snatch this jade slip. It just so happens that Master needs it." Rong Zhengqi had a look of wild elation as he said, "Master, that's also to say that the mystic art recorded in this jade slip can really combine with the illusory devil child mother art." Elder Qian nodded. Excitement flashed in the depths of his eyes as he said in a deep voice, "You must have seen this secret technique before. You should know how important it is to the illusory devil mother-child technique." No one is allowed to reveal it. Rong Zhengqi said with a fanatical expression, "Don't worry, Master. This disciple understands. As long as Master can comprehend this secret technique, our blood-refining sect will no longer be dominated by the blood demon arts." A devilish light flashed in Elder Qian's hand as he put away the jade slip. By the way, when you entered the late core formation stage, you lost your child body in advance. However, the devil seed bead that I gave you was refined using a special method. There should still be a lot of pure energy left in your body. As long as you absorb and refine it, your cultivation will improve greatly. It will be of great help to you in comprehending the power of the nascent soul stage in the future. Rong Zhengqi said with joy, "Thank you, Master. Okay, you can leave now." "Yes, Master." After Rong Zhengqi left, Elder Qian's eyes flashed with a hint of cruelty. Although the remaining demonic energy in the devil seed bead can improve your cultivation, if you continue to cultivate the illusory devil mother-child technique after absorbing it, you will soon suffer from chi deviation and die. This jade slip has too many implications. If the contents are revealed, my hundreds of years of planning will go down the drain. Zhengqi, don't blame Master for being ruthless. Only the dead can keep secrets. At this moment, Elder Qian suddenly raised his eyebrows. His hand flashed with a spell, and a sound-transmitting talisman was shot in from outside the cave. He checked it with his divine sense and revealed an expression of expectation. The old man wants to provide a lot of resources to Su Zihong. He can even use the pure, true demonic water so that he can enter the core formation stage within 50 years. Although the bottleneck to the core formation stage is almost non-existent for someone with a dark spiritual root to cultivate the blood demon art, the amount of resources required for Su Zihong to cultivate from the foundation establishment stage to the core formation stage within 50 years is unimaginable. The old man is really willing. Elder Qian held the sound, transmitting talisman, and his eyes flashed with a strange light. Counting the time, the Grand Elder is almost 900 years old. Whether it's him or me, these 50 years are very tight. After whispering a few words, Elder Qian walked out of the cave and turned into a streak of light that shot toward a certain direction of the blood-refining sect. In the deepest part of the Blood Demon Mountain range, inside a cave with the densest demonic chi, a thin, bald, middle-aged man stood quietly in a secret chamber. Although this man didn't reveal his demonic energy, the dense demonic chi surrounding him spontaneously formed an imposing aura. This man was the master of the blood-refining sect, the #1 demonic cultivator in the state of Qi, Old Demon Pang. On the other side of the secret chamber, a white-haired old man sat cross-legged on the ground and was shrouded in a blood-red light screen. This old man had a jade-like face and an elegant appearance. His body emitted a faint greenish-black spiritual light. Old Demon Pang looked at this handsome white-haired old man, and his eyes flashed with admiration. "Nia Wufeng, you are indeed a genius. In such a short period of time, not only did you transform your cultivation technique into a wind attribute demonic art, you even cultivated to the core formation stage. It seems that your aptitude is more suitable for cultivating the wind demon art of our sect." This white-haired old man was actually the peak master of the weapon-refining sect of the Yang clan in the state of Wei. He was a powerhouse who entered the core formation stage with a wind attribute hidden spiritual root, Nia Wufeng. Back then, he joined forces with Zhu Siming and used a heaven-defying ability to kill 3 core formation cultivators of the Miraculous Gate. It could be said that he was extremely ferocious. Even within the Miraculous Gate, his legend was still circulating. Unfortunately, they encountered the late nascent soul stage Old Demon Pang and were captured alive without being able to resist. Nia Wufeng slowly opened his eyes and looked at Old Demon Pang calmly. He said slowly, "Senior Pang, I have done as you asked. Can you release Junior Brother Zhu now?" Hearing this, a jade bottle magic tool appeared in Old Demon Pang's hand. He opened the bottle, and a blood-red eggshell floated out. It gradually grew bigger and landed beside him. Inside the blood-red eggshell was a white-haired old man with a kind face. As soon as he appeared, he looked at Niao Wufeng worriedly. Old Demon Pang said, "Niao Wufeng, not only did I not search Zhu Siming's soul, I even chose a place with abundant spiritual power for him to cultivate. He is now at the peak of the early core formation stage. I didn't think that a small sect like the Yang clan would have such talented people like you. You aside, this Zhu brat was born with a powerful spiritual sense. His spiritual sense is actually close to the late core formation stage." Seeing that Zhu Siming was safe and sound, Niao Wufeng's expression relaxed slightly. He said, "Senior Pang, you have kept your promise. When will you release Junior Brother Zhu?" Old Demon Pang moved his hands and put Zhu Siming back into the jade bottle magic tool. He sighed and said, "Originally, according to my plan, as long as you reach the mid-core formation stage, I would release this old man. However, something has happened, and I need you to continue cultivating. If you reach the late core formation stage in 50 years, not only will I release him, I will also help him reach the mid-core formation stage so that he can pass down the Yang clan's refining techniques." Hearing this, Niao Wufeng's expression turned ugly. He said, "Senior Pang, if you don't want to release my junior brother, just say it. There's no need to beat around the bush. Although I, Niao Wufeng, have some talent, it is impossible for me to reach the late core formation stage in 50 years. Old Demon Pang shook his head and said, "Niao Wufeng, you underestimate yourself too much. You are only in the early core formation stage, and you are already able to cast high-level spells. Your understanding of the wind element is no less than that of a nascent soul stage cultivator. You should know that it is very difficult for a nascent soul stage cultivator to do this without the power of a nascent soul. Furthermore, you have a thick and thin layer of pure demonic energy. You can completely digest and absorb the corresponding power of the nascent soul." As he spoke, Old Demon Pang took out a bead that emitted a green light and threw it forward. It passed through the blood-red light barrier and landed in Niao Wufeng's hand. He explained, "This demonic seed bead was refined by an old friend of mine. It contains the power of the nascent soul stage with the wind element. With your talent and the dense demonic energy here, you can completely absorb it in 50 years. It is enough for you to reach the late core formation stage." Niao Wufeng looked at the green bead in his hand. He could easily feel the terrifying wind element demonic energy within it. He could even hear a faint whistling sound. He frowned and said, "There should be some flaws in this kind of quick method." Old Demon Pang said calmly, "Of course. Although it can quickly increase one's cultivation, it will be difficult for one's cultivation to improve after absorbing the energy inside. Furthermore, because it absorbs the power of the nascent soul stage from others, it is basically impossible for one to reach the nascent soul stage." Niao Wufeng said self-mockingly, "I don't even care about my life. What's the use of thinking about the nascent soul stage? However, how can I believe that you will keep your promise?" Old Demon Pang heard this. An array of light flashed in front of him. A large stone that was emitting a blood-red light and flashing with countless runes floated in front of him. "Kid, you have the inheritance of the Yang clan. You should be able to recognize the Oath Stone, right?" Green light flashed in Niao Wufeng's eyes. He nodded and said, "With your identity as a great cultivator, you are willing to use the sect's Oath Stone to make a promise. I have nothing to say. I will definitely reach the late core formation stage within the stipulated time." Then, Niao Wufeng and Old Demon Pang used the stone to make an oath. As long as Niao Wufeng could reach the late core formation stage within 50 years, Old Demon Pang would not only let Zhu Siming go to a safe place, but also help him reach the mid-core formation stage so that the Yang clan's art of refining could be passed down. A quarter of an hour later, Old Devil Pang left the secret chamber and walked to the crafting room of the cave residence. He looked at the many materials stored in the room and muttered, "According to my speculation, this method should work. However, there's only one chance. I have to figure it out more." Chapter 820. The western region of the state of Qi was filled with dense forests and poisonous miasma. Mortals and ordinary animals were unable to survive there. Only cultivators and ferocious demonic beasts were able to withstand the poisonous miasma. As for the poisonous miasma in the Gray Swamp Basin, even core formation cultivators were afraid of it. 100 miles away from the Ashen Swamp Basin was a small swamp filled with poisonous miasma. The filthy and rancid water of the swamp bubbled outwards. Wisps of black and gray poisonous gas rolled out from the swamp, shrouding the entire swamp. On this day, 2 young men stood on top of a towering tree in the swamp. One of them had dark skin and an ordinary appearance, but the demonic energy in his body wasn't weak. He was a late Foundation establishment cultivator. He was Lu Kuan's servant in the Yi Yuan secret realm, Duan, a disciple of the sacred poison sect. The other man was handsome and full of heroic spirit. He had a rather sturdy body and looked like a general in a mortal army. He was a disciple of the body refining pavilion, Zhao Qingtian. Zhao Qingtian took a deep breath of the surrounding black and gray smoke. A satisfied smile appeared on his face. He slowly said, "Little Du, your sacred poison sect territory is really a holy land for body cultivators. Just the poisonous miasma here can speed up the refinement of internal organs. The only pity is that the spiritual qi here is insufficient and mixed with demonic qi." Duan looked at Zhao Qingtian's satisfied expression and muttered to himself. Although he had seen it many times, he still found it inconceivable every time. If an ordinary Foundation establishment cultivator breathed in the poisonous miasma just now, their internal organs would immediately rot and their body would be damaged. But this second disciple of his master was actually using the poisonous miasma here as a treasure to speed up his cultivation. A glimmer of hope flashed in Duan's eyes. He said, "Senior Marshal Brother Zhao, is there really no way for me to cultivate Master's cultivation technique?" Zhao Qingtian patted Du and shoulder and said, "Little Du, you've already cultivated for more than 100 years. Your body has long passed the age of development. You have no way to start cultivating a body refinement technique. You should focus on cultivating the sacred poison technique and prepare to form your core. I heard that this is the most profound cultivation technique of the sacred poison sect. It can be cultivated all the way to the nascent soul stage. Furthermore, it complements your poison refinement legacy. The chances of you forming your gold core are not low." Duan rubbed his shoulder in pain and said, "Got it, Senior Brother Zhao. According to my current progress, I should be able to completely transform my magic power into poison magic power in another year. It's a good thing that I have some medicine that can conceal my demonic power. Otherwise, with the uniqueness of the demonic power of the poison, I'm afraid that the core formation elders would have discovered it immediately and interrogated me under torture. After all, only Elder Sha cultivates this technique in the sect." Zhao Qingtian smiled and said, "That's why you should avoid returning to the sacred poison sect as much as possible during this period of time. With the resources that Master has given you, I'm afraid that you'll be able to enter the Foundation establishment Great Circle within 20 years. Coupled with the help of the Heavenly Transformation Pill and other panaceas, forming your gold core will be a cinch. Everything will have to wait until you form your gold core before making any plans." Duan's body trembled as he thought about the resources that his master, Lu Kuan, had given him. Apart from some of Elder Shah's poison refining techniques and materials, there were more than 2,000 devil stones alone. Zhao Qingtian was also quite excited. With the poison that Little Du provided, Zhao Qingtian, will probably only need 7 to 8 years to reach the body tempering stage. Squeak, squeak. At this moment, a little monkey with yellow fur all over its body flew over from a distant tree. Its body exuded an incomparably vigorous demonic power fluctuation, which was at least twice that of an ordinary devil cultivator at the Foundation establishment Great Circle. The little monkey ran over to Zhao Qingtian's shoulder like a wisp of smoke and kept squeaking with a complacent look on its face. Zhao Qingtian helplessly said, Eldest senior brother, I know that you've already reached the body tempering stage. Your cultivation progress is the fastest, and we can't compare to you. Xiao Jin's face was full of pride. It shook its head and wanted to say something, but at this moment, its eyes lit up. It pointed its paw at the sky in the east and cried out excitedly. And Master is here? Not long after, an escape light with a purple halo appeared on the horizon. It seemed to know where Zhao Qingtian and the others were and flew straight here. The purple light flashed, and Lu Kuan's burly figure appeared on the thick branches of the giant tree. Although there was no trace of aura on his body, he gave off an extremely strong sense of oppression, as if he was a ferocious beast. Master! Master! Squeak, squeak! When Lu Kuan saw them, he smiled and said, Qingtian, for you, 7 to 8 years isn't enough. Zhao Qingtian said excitedly, Master, you may not have tried it, but the poisonous smoke that Duan refined is extremely destructive to the internal organs. Coupled with the body tempering technique, the speed of body tempering will greatly increase. Lu Kuan shook his head. Even if you don't rely on the poisonous smoke, you and Shui can rely on the frost chi left behind by Marshal Uncle Wang's magic treasure to enter the great circle of body tempering in 20 years. However, the following bone treasure stage is not so easy to break through. Zhao Qingtian's expression froze, and his eyes revealed a thoughtful look. Master, you mean to let me use poison to cultivate for a period of time in the viscera forging stage to make my Fa Li purer and increase the chances of condensing Dan and melting bones? Lu Kuan made a sound of surprise. Kid, you actually thought of using pure physical Fa Li to increase the chances of success. Not bad. Take this and study it well. I will be with you for a while, so if you have any questions, ask me. As he spoke, a jade slip appeared in his hand, and he threw it to Zhao Qingtian. Zhao Qingtian caught it in his hand and used his spiritual sense to explore it. He murmured, Viscera, condensation technique? Lu Kuan nodded. That's right. In the past year, I have studied several top demonic arts and concluded the viscera condensation technique. By condensing the essence of the viscera and the Fa Li of the viscera into the blood, it will cause the viscera to weaken and the physical body to regress. In this way, continuing to refine the viscera that have lost their essence is equivalent to recultivating to the viscera forging stage. Afterwards, the essence stored in the blood will be released, greatly increasing the strength of the viscera. At the same time, the Fa Li of the viscera will be purer. Zhao Qingtian's eyes blossomed with pleasant surprise as he tightly grasped the jade slip. Lu Kuan continued, with your physical cultivation, you are still unable to completely refine the viscera. As for how much you can do, that will depend on your ability. But no matter what, the chances of condensing Dan and melting bones will increase. Zhao Qingtian said firmly, Master, I will definitely cultivate well. Lu Kuan said with satisfaction, Very good. You have the highest level of comprehension, and the primordial tree body tempering technique has extremely strong recovery abilities. It is suitable for refining poisons and recultivating the viscera. Once you have successfully cultivated it, pass it on to the other disciples. One of my goals in coming to the Western Prefecture this time is to purchase large amounts of poison refining materials to ensure the cultivation of the viscera condensation technique. Hearing this, Duan breathed a sigh of relief and said, With Master, even if we purchase large amounts of poison and attract the attention of the Holy Poison Sect's core formation elders, it will be fine. Lu Kuan snorted coldly and said with an icy tone, It would be best if we can draw out the Holy Poison Sect's core formation elders. With one less Holy Poison Sect elder, there will be one less obstacle to our future operations. Lu Kuan had cultivated for over 100 years and knew that this was a cultivation world where the strong preyed on the weak. He had always felt extremely uneasy about the body tempering technique that he had created. Back when he was in the Iron Fist sect, The Grand Elder had sacrificed a Vajra art martial artist in order to build his foundation. The founder of the Vajra art, Ling Yuetian, had been targeted by Wang Shitong of the Nine Spectres sect because of his strong physical body and was refined into a zombie. After that, Wang Shitong had modified the Vajra art into the Azure Water art and had a large number of mortal martial artists cultivated. Finally, he gathered them together and refined them into zombies. Later on, Lu Kuan discovered the characteristics of the red refining demonic technique and hid in the dark to avoid a direct collision between the red refining sect and the body tempering technique. In the end, he destroyed the Black Fiend Demon King's physical body and resolved the crisis. These calamities only occurred when the body tempering technique's physical body had yet to truly enter the body tempering realm. Now that Lu Kuan had entered the middle stage of the Bone Treasure realm, his bones could be considered a complete set of inlaid Dharma treasures. If this news were to spread, even nascent soul cultivators would attack him. Xiao Jin had cultivated the body-tempering demonic technique in the dense demonic qi environment of the secret realm. Under the mutual promotion of the demonic qi, he had entered the great circle of body-tempering realm and was about to break through. Several of his disciples would also face the Bone Treasure realm. With the increase of high-level body-tempering cultivators, the characteristics of the body-tempering technique would be discovered by the immortal cultivators sooner or later. At that time, every body-tempering cultivator in the Bone Treasure realm would be a golden treasure in the eyes of the immortal cultivators. If his master Lu did not have enough strength, the body-refining pavilion would probably face a disaster when it appeared in the world. The Sacred Poison sect was located in a place of poisonous miasma. All kinds of poisons were necessary for body-tempering cultivators. Taking advantage of the fact that the body-refining pavilion had not yet been known by the immortal cultivators, he would first quietly take it down. As a branch of the body-refining pavilion, he would have more protection in the future. Chapter 821. It should be here. A handsome man in a black robe, wrapped in a blood-red shield, was controlling the spiritual shuttle and hovering outside the swamp that was shrouded in grayish-black miasma. This person was Chun Fenghua, who Lu Kuan had arranged to meet with him. That guy asked me to meet here. Is he related to the Sacred Poison sect? Chun Fenghua shook his head. If he is an elder of the Sacred Poison sect, he should have used all kinds of poisons to control me, not some weird devil path secret technique. Just as he was deep in thought, a deep voice came from the swamp. Little guy, it seems like you've already thought it through. Only with the help of that trace of devil soul force can your blood devil technique smoothly enter the core formation stage. Chun Fenghua looked at the burly man slowly flying out of the swamp forest and said with a nervous tone, "Senior, this junior still needs to confirm something before I can agree to senior's request." Lu Kuan heard this and the corners of his mouth rose. You are afraid of the blood-refining sect's oath stone and want to confirm if I have a way to isolate it, right? Chun Fenghua nodded. That's right. If senior doesn't have a way to restrain the oath stone, even if this junior agrees to senior's request, it will be difficult for this junior to escape death. Lu Kuan chuckled. Both of his hands quickly formed a series of hand seals. A series of mysterious fluctuations slowly emerged, forming a ripple that surged forward. Chun Fenghua's body trembled, but he didn't dodge and let the ripple hit his body. Then he felt the devil soul force in his body boil, and the strange energy appeared again. Before Chun Fenghua could react, this energy entered his divine soul and formed an inexplicable restriction that wrapped around his divine soul. Lu Kuan said lightly, "You have been temporarily isolated from the Oath Stone. Revealing the blood-refining sect's secret at this time will not cause any interference." Chun Fenghua was somewhat skeptical. He couldn't imagine that the strange energy in his body could isolate the Oath Stone. He thought the senior had other means. Lu Kuan said, "Now, tell me the first 3 levels of the blood magic technique. Let's try the secret technique." This. Chun Fenghua hesitated. If this senior's secret technique failed, wouldn't he be discovered by the Oath Stone and have his spiritual soul destroyed? Brat, if I wanted to kill you, it would be as easy as lifting a finger. If I wanted to harm you, I would have killed you back in the secret realm. Chun Fenghua gritted his teeth and slowly began to explain the first level of the demonic blood technique. However, he had only spoken a few hundred words when Lu Kuan interrupted him and said, "Kid, don't try to fool me. I've already obtained the first 3 levels of the blood magic skill. The first level just now should be." Chun Fenghua's expression changed drastically. He knew that this person needed the blood demon technique of the core formation stage, and that it was very likely that he had already obtained the first 3 levels of the blood demon technique. However, when this person actually described the first level of the blood demon technique, Chun Fenghua still found it hard to believe. Lu Kuan said calmly, "I might as well tell you that I used the same method to obtain the first 3 levels of the cultivation method. You can rest assured and tell me the real cultivation method. This will also prove that my secret technique is useful." Chun Fenghua's expression changed again. With a nervous expression, he spat out the blood demon technique intermittently. However, when he discovered that there was nothing wrong with his spiritual soul, he relaxed, and his tone gradually became coherent. After about 15 minutes, Chun Fenghua finished explaining the first 3 levels of the blood demon technique. Lu Kuan also nodded. The content was exactly the same as what he knew. It was obvious that Chun Fenghua was telling the truth. Lu Kuan said, "Now you can rest assured." As he spoke, he formed a seal with his hands. Chun Fenghua once again sensed the energy known as demonic soul force leave his soul and return to his body, disappearing without a trace. Chun Fenghua's face was still a little pale. It took him a while to recover. Just now, he was really afraid that his spiritual soul would shatter and die. Now, he could prove that this person in front of him was right. He eased his nervous mood and said, "In that case, this junior agrees to senior's request. However, how can this junior use this energy in my body to help me break through to the core formation stage?" A jade slip appeared in Lu Kuan's hand. He threw it over and said, "According to the instructions of the secret technique inside, activate it when the demonic soul force crystallizes and is about to condense the core. Then, the core formation will be smoother." Chun Fenghua caught the jade slip. His eyes flashed with excitement. He suppressed his curiosity and put the jade slip into his storage bag. His voice trembled slightly as he said, "How can this junior contact senior?" Lu Kuan waved his hand and said, "I will contact you when the time comes. You should go back and prepare well. Although with the help of this energy, your chances of core formation will greatly increase. However, normal core formation methods are indispensable." Chun Fenghua looked at the unfathomable burly man in front of him and cupped his hands. "Then, this junior will take his leave." Then, he drove the spirit shuttle and shot towards the east. Soon, he disappeared from sight. After a while, Zhao Qingtian flew out of the swamp with a light purple spirit shuttle. Duan and Xiao Jin sat on it. He looked at Chun Fenghua, who had disappeared into the distance, and asked curiously, "Master, is this the second thing you wanted to talk about?" Lu Kuan said, "That's right. If it goes well, the demonic bloodbone refining technique will be completely perfected. Master's physical cultivation will continue to grow. I wonder what kind of combat power the bone treasure stage will have." When Zhao Qingtian heard the words demonic bloodbone refining technique and bone treasure stage, his face was full of yearning. However, he didn't ask because he understood that before entering the bone treasure stage, knowing these things wouldn't be of much use. It would only increase his worries. Lu Kuan flashed and landed on the silver dragon spirit shuttle. He said, "Qingtian, the west province of the state of Qi is quite chaotic. There are many rogue demonic cultivators. Your Fa Li is too sudden. Let Xiao Du drive the spirit shuttle." "Yes, master." When Zhao Qingtian heard this, he withdrew the Fa Li in his body and handed the spirit shuttle to Duan. Then he took out the internal organ concentration method that Lu Kuan gave him and began to study it. "Xiao Du, you lead the way." Let's go to the main markets in the far west. Buy all the poison materials that Qing Tian thinks are effective. Yes, master. Dune was a little excited. The Fa Li in his body surged and drove the top-notch spirit shuttle to the nearest market. In the following period of time, several mysterious people were found in the major markets in the far west province. They were buying a variety of poison refining materials in large quantities. Even some of the poison refining materials that no one cared about were bought in batches at a high price. This made many demonic cultivators puzzled. The poison refining materials weren't pills that could increase cultivation. Why did this mysterious cultivator buy so much? If he wanted to use poison to kill a large number of immortal cultivators, he could buy the finished product of the poison instead of the poison refining materials. This made it seem like the disciples of the sacred poison sect were practicing the poison refining technique. However, this didn't make sense. If the disciples of the sacred poison sect were practicing the poison refining technique, they would definitely trade it in the sect. The price would be much cheaper than in the market. After all, the poison refining materials in the major markets were mostly bought by the disciples of the sacred poison sect. Only the disciples of the sacred poison sect could easily obtain all kinds of poison materials in the far west, which was filled with poisonous miasma. As a large number of poison refining materials were bought, the prices of many of them began to rise. So it didn't take long for the news of someone buying poison refining materials in large quantities to spread to the sacred poison sect. Many disciples of the sacred poison sect were overjoyed when they heard the news. They sold the poison refining materials they didn't need to the market and made a huge profit. Chapter 8:22. Little Dew, the purple heart poisonous grass you spoke of, is in this abyss. Lu Kuan stood at the edge of a steep black cliff, his hands playing with the faint black mist around him as he spoke. Beside him, Duan's skin was covered with a layer of purple ointment, looking very comical. Duan carefully applied the ointment on his lips as he mumbled, "Oh, yes, master." On the other side, Zhao Qingtian and the little monkey breathed in the black mist, their internal magic power and demonic spiritual power surging endlessly. Their faces were filled with pain and joy. Lu Kuan took a deep breath and felt the slight pain from his internal organs. He sighed, as expected of the resentment abyss. Just the thin layer of poison on the periphery is enough to cause damage to my internal organs. While Doan was speaking, he had already applied the purple ointment all over his head. His voice was respectful as he said. He respectfully said, "Master, the toxicity of the purple heart poisonous miasma is so strong that it can even corrode a cultivator's spiritual light barrier. In addition, there is no spiritual energy or demonic chi in the abyss, so the resentment abyss is a completely forbidden area for cultivators. Even with the demonic power of a core formation stage cultivator, it is not enough to make a trip to and from the abyss. After all, the further down you go, the denser the purple heart poisonous miasma is, and the faster your barrier will be depleted. Only my holy poison sex special ointment can resist this poisonous miasma." Lu Kuan stroked his chin and said, "We have been here for a while and haven't met a single cultivator. This ointment of yours must be very rare in the holy poison sect." Duan said, "Yes, master. This ointment can only be made by a core formation stage martial uncle. If a foundation establishment stage disciple wants to buy it, they will have to spend a lot of contribution points. Fortunately, there is a method to make this ointment in the poison refining inheritance I obtained." Lu Kuan smiled and said, "This is your opportunity. However, I didn't expect that the poison refining inheritance you obtained was originally a part of the holy poison technique. The two complement each other. Now, you only need the purple heart poisonous grass to complete the transformation of your demonic poison power." Duan looked a little excited. Yes, with the purple heart poison grass, together with the poison refining inheritance and the holy poison art, we can smoothly transform the 10 poisons' demonic power. The sacred poison technique only recorded how to use mana to refine poison, but it didn't mention which poisonous herbs were the most suitable. However, The poison refinement inheritance described in detail which poisonous herbs were the most compatible with mana. With the combination of the two, the success rate of the transformation of the 10 poisons' demonic power is greatly increased. Duin was Lu Kuan's servant. Naturally, Lu Kuan had seen both the sacred poison technique and the poison refining inheritance. His eyes were filled with interest as he asked, "The foundation establishment stage of the holy poison technique is to gradually use demonic power to refine 10 kinds of poisons, forming the 10 poisons' demonic power, and finally condense the 10 poisons' demonic core at the time of the breakthrough. The core formation stage continues to refine the poisons until the 100 poisons' demonic core is formed at the completion stage of the core formation stage. In the end, the Dan breaks and forms the nascent soul, producing the unique power of 100 poisons. TSK, this skill is really interesting." Duin revealed a yearning expression and said, "It is said that our sect's 3 great holy poisons were developed by 3 nascent soul stage seniors based on their respective powers of 100 poisons. Later, for some unknown reason, the sacred poison sect's poison refining inheritance was lost. This caused the cultivation of the sacred poison technique to be filled with danger. The chances of death from the poison greatly increased. Therefore, many Foundation Establishment Stage disciples were taken by the elders to test the poison. Duin said in a respectful tone, "Master, you killed Elder Shah because he coincidentally refined one of the 3 great holy poisons, the mysterious underworld corrosive poison. This allowed him to cultivate the sacred poison technique to the late core formation stage." Lu Kuan revealed a look of understanding. "No wonder your sacred poison sect hasn't produced a nascent soul stage cultivator for so many years. So it's because the sacred poison technique is missing." After pondering for a moment, he looked at the slightly pale Zhao Qingtian and the little monkey and said with a smile, "You'd better hold your breath. If you keep breathing in the purple heart poison miasma, I'm afraid your magic power and demonic spiritual power will be exhausted before you reach the bottom." Squeak, squeak. Xiao Jing grinned and jumped onto Lu Kuan's shoulder. When Zhao Qingtian heard this, he also stopped breathing and said regretfully, "Hey, if this place had sufficient spiritual energy, then it would definitely be a holy land for body-tempering stage cultivators." Lu Kuan laughed and scolded, "You're still not satisfied, kid. We've already plundered a large amount of poison refining materials. When Lil Du refines the poison, the effects will be much better than the miasma here." Suddenly, he exclaimed, "That old guy's speed isn't slow. He's almost here. Let's go down too." When Zhao Qingtian heard this, his expression turned solemn. A light flashed in his hand, and the silver dragon spirit shuttle appeared at the edge of the cliff. The 3 people and 1 monkey walked in and followed the spirit shuttle into the black miasma of the bottomless abyss. A quarter of an hour after Lu Kuan and the others flew into the abyss, an old woman wearing a black robe and covered in a light green barrier appeared at the edge of the cliff. Demonic energy surged within her body, and she emitted early core formation fluctuations. The old woman closed her eyes and sensed the aura left behind on the cliff. She muttered to herself, "A peak Foundation Establishment cultivator with would attribute magic energy, a peak 4th grade monster beast, and a late Foundation Establishment demonic cultivator? What a strange combination. But where did they get the purple resentment ointment?" The old woman frowned and patted her black robe. The robe flashed and turned purple in the blink of an eye. It wrapped around her entire body and even covered her eyes, mouth, and nose. Then the old woman withdrew her demonic barrier and flew into the abyss. In the far west of the Western Province, in the depths of the famous Ash Lake Valley, in a certain hall of the sacred poison sect's cave abode, there were 5 men and women sitting cross-legged. They either had strange hair colors or had green spots on their faces. They all looked very ugly, but their cultivation levels were not weak. They all emitted auras above the core formation stage. An old man with gray hair and black spots on his face suddenly said, "Senior brothers and junior brothers, Junior Brother Shah's life token has been shattered and his soul has been destroyed. It seems that he has really fallen in the Yuan mystic realm. Senior Brother Shah was the only one among us who had refined the 3 holy poisons. Now that he has fallen, I'm afraid that some sects in the Western Province will make a move on our sacred poison sect. A one-eyed middle-aged man beside him heard this and snorted coldly. Although our sacred poison sect hasn't produced a nascent soul cultivator for thousands of years, we are still intact. The myriad poisons array is not to be trifled with. The black-spotted old man shook his head. Junior brother, I'm not worried about a frontal attack. I'm just afraid that these people will use Senior Brother Shah's restriction tokens to sneak into our sect. Also, I heard that recently, someone has been purchasing poison refining materials in large quantities. It seems that someone wants to cultivate poison refining techniques. It's very likely that Senior Brother Shah's poison refining techniques have been leaked. The one-eyed man frowned. Junior Sister Feng has already gone to investigate. We should have a result when she returns. The black-spotted old man was about to say something when his expression suddenly changed. A spiritual light flashed in his hand, and a square token several inches in size appeared. The word Feng was vaguely written on it. There was a huge crack on the token. Junior Sister Feng. How can this be? Junior Sister Feng has also fallen. She was killed in the sacred poison sect's territory. Could it be that a nascent soul cultivator made a move? When the core formation stage cultivators present saw the cracked token, their expressions changed greatly. The black-spotted old man held the soul token and said with an ugly expression, "It seems that someone wants to deal with our sacred poison sect. Senior brothers and junior brothers, we have to think of a way to deal with them. We can't force our way in. The enemy is very likely to sneak in. Let's keep the restrictions the same and add a few more poisons to the original foundation. This way, even if someone uses Junior Brother Shah's formation disc to enter, they will be poisoned to death. From now on, the heart-devouring poison that the new disciples take will be strengthened. Furthermore, they must take it before entering the Ash Marsh Valley." Next, the 5 core formation stage poison cultivators began to discuss various methods to defend against the enemy's invasion. The sacred poison sect had been able to survive for thousands of years without a nascent soul cultivator. Naturally, they had all kinds of countermeasures. Chapter 823. 5 years wasn't a long time, but it wasn't short either. 4 chi condensation cultivators with high aptitude. 5 years was enough for them to break through several layers of their foundation. But for foundation establishment cultivators, even if they had top-quality spiritual roots, it was impossible for them to break through a small realm in such a short amount of time. 4 core formation cultivators, it would take decades or even centuries to break through. State of Chu, chaotic sea. In a cave in the depths of Demon Spirit Island, Zhao Qingtian sat cross-legged in a practice room. His upper body was bare, and the veins on his muscles were twisted. One could even see the surging blood inside. His forehead was covered in sweat, and his expression was one of extreme pain. Would attribute magic power mixed with his blood essence, as if he was using a strange cultivation method. After an unknown period of time, Zhao Qingtian slowly opened his eyes. His aura gradually stabilized, and his tensed muscles and blue veins also relaxed. He let out a breath and said, he took a deep breath and said, "Fortunately, I have would attribute magic power. My ability to repair the body is stronger than other body refinement techniques, and I can experiment repeatedly. Only then was I able to barely comprehend the mysteries of Master's organ condensation technique." Zhao Qingtian's face was full of admiration. Using Master's technique, the blood essence can produce a strange devouring power. With the cooperation of the internal organs, part of the internal organ's essence can be decomposed. Then the internal organ's essence is sealed in the blood essence. The more internal organ's essence is sealed, the weaker the viscera forging stage's internal organs will be. This is equivalent to destroying one's body refinement cultivation. Zhao Qingtian thought for a moment. The amount of internal organs essence that can be sealed seems to be related to the concentration of the blood essence. I can only swallow 20% of the internal organ's essence and seal it in the blood essence. Otherwise, the remaining blood essence won't be enough to transport magic power and reconstruct my viscera forging stage. He looked at the bottles and jars on the ground in front of him and clenched his fists. In these 5 years, with the help of various poisons, my viscera forging stage's physical body has progressed at lightning speed. I'm afraid that in another 2 years, I'll be able to reach the great circle of body tempering. Then I can condense the wood attribute mark on my chest and back. Then I can carve a bone spirit controlling formation to increase my control of spiritual energy. At that time, the time it takes to reconstruct my viscera forging stage will be greatly reduced. When my viscera forging stage is complete, the sealed essence in the blood essence will be released and fused with it. My internal organs' strength and magic power's purity will increase by at least 20%. After muttering to himself for a while, a jade bottle appeared in Zhao Qingtian's hand. There was some kind of pitch-black liquid inside. Zhao Qingtian. The demonic chi region of the demonic spirit island had been transformed long ago. It was now called the demonic ape valley. It was filled with shrubs and jungles, and there were also a large number of demonic beasts living there. Almost all the Black Mountain apes could feel a strong aura of a superior bloodline. The ancient bloodline of a king caused the apes with low cultivations to tremble unconsciously. In the deepest part of the demonic ape valley, a brown tree more than 20 feet tall was rooted in the ground. Although there were no leaves between its branches, it exuded an extremely strong aura of life. Under this tree, Xiao Jin sat cross-legged with his eyes closed. The funnel-shaped demonic cloud was above his head, and a large amount of demonic energy was entering his body. Lu Kuan stood 10 feet away from Xiao Jin with a strange expression on his face. Next to him stood a 3-meter-tall, strong black gorilla with shiny black hair. It was the Black Mountain Ape Clan's chief, Dahe. His bell-sized eyes were filled with excitement. Lu Kuan raised his head and looked at the huge, funnel-shaped yellow demonic cloud and the little monkey whose aura was approaching the core formation stage. His mouth twitched. I was worried for nothing. This little guy's aptitude is so terrifying. Not only does he have a 9-star physique, but his bones have also formed a demonic spirit mark. His affinity with demonic energy is so high. Condensing and crystallizing demonic energy is as simple as drinking water for him. Condensing his core and melting his bones is also much smoother than me. 5 years ago, Lu Kuan brought Zhao Qingtian and to collect a large amount of poisonous materials before returning to Demon Spirit Island. Xiao Jin had reached the complete body tempering realm and was about to break through to the bone treasure stage. Xiao Jin and Lu Kuan were connected by blood. Through his innate ability, he could share Lu Kuan's body tempering cultivation technique and transform it into a suitable demonic cultivation technique for himself. Therefore, Xiao Jin's understanding of the existing body tempering cultivation technique was almost the same as Lu Kuan's. In the past 5 years, Xiao Jin first condensed a demonic spirit mark on his bones. This demonic spirit attribute was not mixed with the 5 elements. Only demonic beasts with the purest bloodline could possess it. The aptitude of the demonic beasts allowed him to not inscribe a spirit-controlling array. Because his demonic energy was much greater than a normal class 4 demonic beast, Xiao Jin still took more than 4 years to crystallize his demonic energy, even with the help of dense demonic energy. Not long ago, the demonic energy vibration was caused by Xiao Jin's successful core formation stage and the first trace of class 5 demonic energy. Lu Kuan then looked at the demonic soul tree behind Xiao Jin. His eyes flashed with excitement. When he was condensing his core formation stage and fusing his bones, although he had a 9-star physique, which reduced the difficulty, he still needed the help of a strong divine sense to compress and crystallize his magic energy. Back then, he had relied on the divine accumulation pill, a treasure that could temporarily increase his divine sense, to finally succeed. Although Xiao Jin did not have such a pill, his divine sense was more condensed and profound than usual under the demonic soul tree. In addition to Xiao Jin's aptitude of the demonic king's bloodline, the core formation stage was naturally very smooth. In other words, not only could this demonic soul tree help Xiao Jin, it could also help other body cultivators break through. Its value was self-evident. Following the scouring of a large amount of demonic energy, more and more solid demonic energy appeared in Xiao Jin's bones. The aura on his body gradually rose. His originally small body also began to grow taller. After half a day, Xiao Jin suddenly opened his eyes. His tall body stood up. Surging demonic energy and dense blood energy soared into the sky. The pressure of a core formation stage expert spread out. Roar! Xiao Jin unconsciously roared towards the sky. At the same time, a thin golden ape phantom appeared behind Xiao Jin. It also opened its mouth and roared towards the sky. Following the appearance of the phantom, this roar seemed to be filled with resentment. When Dahe saw this thin ape phantom, he immediately knelt on the ground with a plop. His face revealed an extremely respectful expression. Lu Kuan, who was standing at the side, seemed to have expected this scene. He quietly looked at the ape phantom. When the little monkey broke through to the blood condensation stage, such a scene also appeared. Clearly, this thin golden ape was the source of Xiao Jin's bloodline. After this roar ended, the thin ape phantom entered Xiao Jin's body. His body also gradually shrank. He actually turned back into the little monkey from before. For some reason, the breakthrough of a large realm did not cause the little monkey's body to truly grow. Squeak, squeak. Xiao Jin used his paws to touch his body and then clenched his fists. He was extremely excited. With a kick of his legs, he scurried towards Lu Kuan. At the same time, his 2 monkey claws flashed with a yellow glow as he punched towards Lu Kuan. When Lu Kuan saw this, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. He stretched out his palm, wanting to test Xiao Jin's current strength. But at this moment, Xiao Jin's arm suddenly expanded. Extremely strong muscles appeared under the golden fur. A familiar aura spread out from it that Lu Kuan was familiar with. Boom! A terrifying shockwave surged out in all directions with them as the center, stirring up clouds of dust. Dahe, who was beside him, could not help but take 2 steps back. Lu Kuan's palms blocked Xiao Jin's expanded monkey fists. His body was still in the same spot, but his feet sank into the ground. He revealed a surprised expression and said, "Xiao Jin, you can actually use the power of arms." Chapter 824. Lu Kuan was pleasantly surprised. The strength that Xiao Jin had just unleashed was close to 200,000 kilograms. This meant that when it unleashed its full power, its combat power exceeded that of an ordinary mid-core formation realm cultivator. If it had a suitable weapon, it could even compete with a late-core formation realm cultivator. Under normal circumstances, Xiao Jin had about 130,000 kilograms of strength. Thinking of this, he hurriedly asked, "Xiao Jin, approximately how many attacks can you sustain with the power of the arms?" The little monkey sensed the demonic spiritual energy in its body and gestured with its claws. "You said that it can sustain at least 60 to 70 rounds of attacks." Squeak, squeak. Lu Kuan was shocked. This was much longer than his. Then, he remembered that Xiao Jin had the purest Demon King bloodline among the apes and was somewhat relieved. He couldn't help but ask, "Could it be that you also learned the power of the arms from me, using the Spirit Ear divine ability?" The little monkey scurried up to Lu Kuan's shoulder, grabbed his short hair, and nodded proudly. The corner of Lu Kuan's mouth twitched. This little monkey that was connected to him by blood not only had an extremely high aptitude, but its innate divine ability was also unheard of. The spirit ear divine ability's hearing range was far beyond the power of divine sense, and it could even hear his cultivation techniques and divine abilities. Wait, this divine ability seems to be somewhat familiar. In the ears of the ape phantom, Lu Kuan's expression suddenly froze. Then he took the little monkey off his neck and held it in his hands, carefully looking at Xiao Jin's ears. At the edge of the little monkey's two ears, there was a layer of pale golden meatballs. There were some spirals inside, and it looked like another ear that hadn't grown out. If it grew out completely, the little monkey would have 4 ears. And he remembered that the ape phantom just now seemed to have 3 ears on each side. Lu Kuan's eyes flashed with shock as he muttered, 4 ears? 6 ears? Could it be the 6-eared macaque? According to the myths on Earth, the 6-eared macaque can know what is happening thousands of miles away. It is good at listening, can observe, and can see everything. It is very similar to Xiao Jin, but there are some differences. After all, other than Xiao Jin's extremely wide range of hearing, he can also learn my cultivation technique. Lu Kuan loosened his grip, allowing the little monkey to jump onto Dahei's body. His eyes flashed with a strange light. 6-eared macaque, long-armed ape monkey. Looking at it this way, the long-armed ape bloodline in my body is also related to the 4 great divine monkeys in Earth's mythology. At this moment, Lu Kuan recalled the murals he had seen in the cave of the Black Mountain Ape clan. The beginning of the murals depicted the human race and the monster race fighting against a strange creature. With Lu Kuan's current knowledge, that creature was naturally the demon race. After that, the murals depicted the top monster kings of the monster ape clan. One of them was naturally the long-armed giant ape. Other than that, there was also an extraordinarily handsome ape and a baboon monkey. Thinking about it this way, everything seemed to be connected. The extraordinarily handsome ape was naturally the spiritual stone monkey. The famous Monkey King's son, Wukong on Earth, was of this bloodline. The baboon monkey was very likely the red-bone horse ape. But why was it that when the demon race invaded, they only encountered the long-armed giant apes? I have never heard the Black Fiend mention the spiritual stone monkey and the red-bone horse ape. Lu Kuan sank into his memories. When he was guarding Xiao Jin, he had asked the Black Fiend Demon King about the long-armed giant apes and the long-armed demon apes. In ancient times, the long-armed giant apes were the monster race with the strongest physical bodies. At the same level, the demon race was no match for the long-armed giant apes. The long-armed giant apes became a thorn in the side of the demon race. The demon race captured many young long-armed giant apes in an attempt to dig out the secret of their powerful bloodline and see if it could make the demon race's physical body stronger. The demon race used a secret method to turn the captured long-armed giant apes into demonic beasts. However, they did not expect that the transformed long-armed giant apes were extremely compatible with demonic chi, especially the true demonic chi that contained the true demonic intent. They even produced the terrifying heavenly roar. After that, a few long-armed giant apes with the highest cultivation were soaked in the true demonic pool and broke free from the demon race's control technique, causing the demon race a lot of losses. Lu Kuan knew that the Black Fiend Demon King's words could not be completely trusted. The long-armed giant apes did not cause a small amount of losses to the demon race. From the bloodline memories he obtained, the long-armed giant apes played a great role in repelling the demon race in the war. The ancient ape monster race seems to have many secrets. During the demon race's great war, why was there only the long-armed giant apes? Where were the other monster kings and royalty? What is their relationship with the 4 great spiritual monkeys on Earth? The more Lu Kuan thought, the more doubts he had. Zhao Qingtian's figure appeared not far away, interrupting Lu Kuan's thoughts. Ah, eldest senior brother has indeed successfully advanced. Congratulations, congratulations. Xiao Jin stood on Dahei's shoulder, dancing with joy and extremely proud. Lu Kuan shook his head and put the matter of the 4 great spiritual monkeys at the bottom of his heart. In the immortal cultivation world, he was only at the core formation stage. He could only wait for his cultivation to advance further before asking the high-level immortal cultivators about the ancient demon race. He then looked at Zhao Qingtian with satisfaction in his eyes. With his insight, he could naturally see that Zhao Qingtian was about to enter the great circle of body tempering. It could be seen that the poison refined by dew and was more effective than expected for body cultivators. This strengthened Lu Kuan's determination to take down the sacred poison sect. Qingtian, Xiao Jin has entered the bone treasure stage, and his strength has increased greatly. I plan to keep Xiao Jin by dew inside. This way, dew and safety will be greatly increased, and Xiao Jin can also cultivate in the bone treasure stage in the state of Qi. Zhao Qingtian asked curiously, "Does the bone treasure stage require the help of demonic Qi?" Lu Kuan nodded and didn't explain. Instead, he said, "You little brat, go into seclusion on Demon Spirit Island. How is your understanding of the secret technique that I gave you?" Zhao Qingtian said, "Qingtian has already comprehended Master's internal organ condensation technique. However, with the density of my blood essence, it seems that I can only refine 20%. Lu Kuan's eyes flashed with an indescribable light. "You haven't cultivated the supplementary technique for the bone treasure stage, so your blood essence isn't dense enough. 20% is already good enough. After this, you can pass this internal organ condensation technique to Shui-Er." Zhao Qingtian respectfully said, "Yes, Master." Lu Kuan raised his head and looked towards the southeast. He pinched his fingers and said, "It's about time. I have to return to the blood refining sect. When you've finished recultivating, let me know. Master will come back to help you." Zhao Qingtian looked at Lu Kuan and the little monkey with some reluctance and nodded heavily. Lu Kuan patted Zhao Qingtian's shoulder and turned into a bright purple light. He wrapped around Xiao Jin and shot towards the exit of Demon Spirit Island. During Lu Kuan's stay on Demon Spirit Island, he didn't meet any of the disciples from the Treasure Pavilion. He heard from the disciples that Qin Yushu, Xiao Hongfei, and Lu Xiao formed a team and went to the Outer Sea to hunt demon beasts. There were many cultivators in the Outer Sea of Chu. In addition to the abundant spirit Qi, it was also because of the demon beasts. The demon beast cores could be refined into pills that could increase one's cultivation. As long as one hunted enough demon beast cores, it meant that one would have a large amount of pills that could increase one's cultivation. Qin Yushu and the others had entered the core formation stage. If they only relied on hard work, their progress would be very slow. They had to rely on the power of pills. Moreover, the various materials from demon beasts could be used by the Treasure Pavilion. With the three of them together, their safety was greatly increased. They could even fight against 7th-level demon beasts. As for Zhu Xiaofeng, he knew that his aptitude was mediocre and that it would be difficult for him to break through to the core formation stage. He simply took turns to sit in the Treasure Pavilion and teach the new disciples. Back then, Yu Yifeng's son, Yulin, had a dual attribute of fire and wood. Now, he was already at the early foundation establishment stage and was the chief disciple of the Treasure Pavilion. Moreover, this little guy inherited his parents' talent in refining. His current refining level could be ranked at the top of the Yang clan's refining peak. After Lu Kuan left Demon Spirit Island, he went directly to the Warriors' Saint City. After informing the several disciples in charge, he brought Duan back to the Qi Kingdom's West Province. In these 5 years, besides refining poisons, Duan also taught the second-generation disciple, Zhao Qiming, the art of refining poisons. In any case, this guy had the help of thousands of demon stones from Lu Kuan, so his cultivation didn't fall behind. In addition to the various pills that could increase his cultivation and the 10 poisons that had been successfully converted, it would only take Duan 20 to 30 years to reach the great circle of foundation establishment. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.